Welcome to the Boston Art Podcast. I am Brian Huntress.
I'm Theodora Earthworms.
And this is the episode.
Woo!
Yeah, fuck it. We're sending. All right, so nobody say anything that you wouldn't want to be not private information.
I was going to say after
starting now.
We did this, we could just go to my house.
Alcohol. Me and Ben are going to relapse together. That's right. At Blanchard's and Allston. So we're actually currently on the exact same walking path that we were last time we started recording. Like, we basically started recording at that same moment.
That should be a theme.
Falafel episodes with, so yeah.
Is the falafel closer?
No, actually.
No, it's
I don't
not.
think it is. It's actually farther.
Yeah, you need to be leading the pack
The
here.
grasshopper's next to the foam. I don't know.
Should we get like double recordings to make sure that this all lines up and just do like a clap take?
So what actually sucks about that is that I've tried that before. Hey, there's the open mic flyer.
Oh shit.
There's one. Look at that. This shit holds up so fucking well. It's been rained on and shit, and it's just good. We're referring to a flyer from the open mic that we were just at. Yeah, look at that. I'm so fucking cold. All right, yeah, and I'm hungry. I think once we're all eating, everything will stop sucking so bad.
I love eating sounds.
Would you like my outer jacket? Because I'm actually a little toasty.
I appreciate that so much, but I'm okay. I'll be all right. Yo, look at this big tour bus. Do you think there's some like semi successccessful band in there?
That's mine. It is.
Oh yeah.
We're in front of Brighton Music Hall. So
Right. Who's playing tonight? Sunflower Bean.
See it?
Yeah.
Pretty successful.
Yeah, they're killing. I don't know.
3 years old.
Oh, shit.
How long have you lived in Allston, John?
I lived in Allston for 2 years, and then I took a break, and now I've lived
There
here
you're back.
for 8 months.
I
Oh,
love
that's
this
awesome.
place.
with Gavin.
With Gavin,
Yeah,
I
it's
live
a nice
with
place.
Brian.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
Their
I don't
house is
want
way
him-
nicer than it should be.
I don't want
Really?
him to
It's
leave.
ridiculous.
That's awesome.
He might move to Manchester.
Why?
Oh no.
Got an interview at an engineering company in Manchester.
Am I about to move in with Gav now?
So are we going down by the little elementary school down here?
Yeah, it's directly across from that.
From the Jackson Man School?
Yeah, they closed the Jackson Man School.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Are they taking it down?
I don't know.
Wow, there's a really, really iconic Boston skate spot in the playground behind Jackson Man.
I've actually seen that.
Yeah, it's the rain skating spot for Boston. This is such a weird sidebar. Well, I wonder what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Talking shit, sorry.
It's
Oh, but-
definitely not content.
The reason that I was saying that,
Actively pitching.
I love that. The reason that double recordings, we did do it one time actually with the Ryan
That was
episode.
so fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah, the reason
good.
it gets tricky with
Contrast.
bitrate and shit.
I can
Yeah, that's true. You could if it got choppy. Yeah,
Always down to help.
that would be amazing.
What's up? Are you cold?
No. Oh, cool.
Me neither.
Good talk. Like the accusatory tone and nature of your voice right now. I'm going to project so that the phone can hear me. I talk like this all the time. This is
Me
totally
too.
normal.
I've always wanted to end Bullpup on Brian Huntress's podcast. So this is a dream come true for me.
I wonder what the temperature is right now.
I think it's like 34.
48.
Dude, I was
You're all
close.
pansies.
I was so close.
34 is like 48.
I didn't make it this far down the street.
Sure.
The polls.
That's crazy. What's your favorite prime number?
9.
If you can answer that, I don't like
Is that a prime number? I actually have no fucking idea. Is 9 a prime number?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Divisible by 3.
I don't even know what a prime number is, dude.
I don't know.
Number that's not divisible. This is awesome content.
All of you have more schooling than me, so I really...
I don't.
Oh, yeah, you do.
I didn't go to elementary school.
Fight.
I don't know if you can consider Drake it, like, because we almost lost gradation in our schools twice.
Wow.
So maybe...
In the time you were there?
Yeah.
Wait, are you actually recording this?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
I like to consider these episodes, of which there are like 3 or 4 ambient episodes, where there's like, really? Well, I mean, when it's just me and you, it's way more comprehensible. Like, you can understand what's happening more. But when there's like 3, 4, like when there's multiple people and we're outside, then it starts to get pretty, I don't know what the
If
word
it
is.
wasn't our podcast,
Ambient.
would you listen to our podcast?
Me?
Some of the episodes
Maybe.
I'm like,
I would.
ambient ones. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't listen to podcasts that I'm not on. So I'm
That's-
really
Gotcha.
excited to listen to the first episode of this podcast.
Yeah, that's great.
I used to wash my laundry here.
Yeah, it looks nice. Looks great.
That green one.
Too cold. Why didn't you wear the jacket? This is my car. I didn't even
I don't know. I didn't know you
had.
had an extra jacket.
I said I'm gonna wear this jacket because I like this jacket better than this jacket. You were like, that's a good idea.
It's
I'm gonna
crazy
go
that
pee on
you're
that wall.
mocking yourself right now.
No, I was mocking you.
You literally just said, I said, and then went into a mocking tone.
No, okay, so we were talking
Which
about
is
this.
awesome
We were literally
behavior.
talking about this in the car. That's not a mocking tone. It's just the tone of someone saying a thing.
Fine.
I just made this point like 20 minutes ago.
No.
Ryan
I'm
said it's not
down.
true.
I understand.
True.
Yeah, you see?
It's way farther
See
than the
what?
other place.
Yeah, I think John's
Yeah.
like
What are we getting
Crazy.
again? Is it a vegan place?
perspective, right? That's what the podcast is all about.
Yeah.
Rabbit food.
Fresh,
Yeah.
fresh, undiluted perspective.
So what do you all think about the open mic that we all went to tonight?
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Assemblage Art Space. It was one of the events having to do with the art show with me and Walter Tomasino, who will be featured on the podcast there very soon.
Oh,
You
yeah.
think you did a good job in organizing the open mic?
No, I think I did a medium job. Like I would give myself like a C or a B.
Give you a C+.
Thanks.
Well,
Appreciate it.
no, your promotion was pretty bad, but it came together really well. So
You
like,
also did say 5 and then showed up at 6.
that was pretty bad. That's definitely a nice point. Actually, I shouldn't say your promotion was bad because actually,
I think that was the only part that I did that I went full send. The promotion I really tried.
well, and you
but
got
that's
somebody
it.
to show up. There were some people that came because of the flyers.
That's true, which is such a good story because I put up. I don't even know if I talked about that on the podcast or not. Oh, all right.
All right, John.
Yeah, fuck the police.
Woo! Well, wait. Okay, so the rest of the podcast party is now across the street, and me and Theo are stuck over here.
We got scared.
Now it's just me and you.
Yeah.
What should we talk about? Well, it's just me and you.
Well, we're
it's like a regular
we're outside
episode
Twin
now.
Donuts. What
Oh
if we
yeah,
just
I missed
leave?
that place.
Why don't you just go home?
Imagine if we just ran back to the cars and abandoned them. All right, let's go now. Ah! Running across the street, don't fall.
Just should have sent it. I manifested there being no car.
Now you timed it perfectly, but I felt like I was just a little bit. My leg felt
Yeah.
unsafe.
I had to am I doing this moment? And then there's a car coming.
Yeah, that moment usually means you should delay.
I
you should wait.
destroyed my leg in training too, so that was pretty risky for me to be like,
Oh,
let's
no.
run.
Oh, this is a restaurant. Okay, so what?
I don't know, but it seems like we can
Oh God. Yeah, that's true.
just put the phone face down.
Yeah, it's okay. Sweet. I like your evil eye pop socket.
Thank you. Trevor gave it to me for Christmas.
Oh, I like it.
Because of our album with the evil.
I get it.
I get it.
What?
God, I love a brand.
I was telling Trevor that I just today found out what the chorus to Bed Song says.
What is this?
11.
Oh, okay.
No, I looked before.
Hey, I don't know.
Oh, is this place closed in like 3 minutes or
It was
something?
11.
Okay, good. That's okay.
That would be so rude. I work in food service. Like, I would never do that. Maybe I would. I'm hungry.
Straight to the devil. This is all very cheap, isn't it?
This is an appetizer.
Oh, this is.
But it's like $11 for an entree.
That's fine.
That's pretty good, actually.
I wouldn't bring you guys when you said $8 taco too much.
Oh no, why is there too shit?
Oh, thank you. I'll use this one.
You want to read mine?
You're flipping too fast.
You're flipping too fast.
Oh wow, thank you very much. Thank you.
Sounds like you guys are cursing at each other in like kindergarten speak. Like you're flipping slow, bro.
We do that a lot, actually.
I want to get a coffee.
That does sound actually
Did you say
fun.
you're getting a cup?
What?
No, I want one, but I'm not going to get one.
Is there tea in there?
Yeah, it's hot.
I don't think there's anything.
It's hot. It's literally hot.
Is it water?
Mug me, dog.
Yeah, fuck it. Hit me
It's
with
mug
that
root
shit.
beer.
Imagine this is root beer.
Dude, that's root beer. That'd be sick. I'd be so happy if it was root beer.
What is it, Theo, that I'm about to drink?
What?
What is that? What is he drinking? You don't know? Like, is it tea?
Does it taste good?
It's not alcohol.
I think it's green tea.
No, it's not. Chris got in your head, huh? Chris was like, we're going to throw it all away live
an
on the
herbal tea.
podcast.
Can you imagine?
We could go to
Imagine Jasmine.
confetti.
Yeah, end up on a Facebook group that's just like moms looking for their lost
All right.
siblings, loved ones.
My favorite Tumblr account.
We're trying to get a grand. You can show.
I'm in a lot of those groups, so I see those posts on a daily basis. It's really sad.
What's
I don't
your
mean to make light
favorite
of it.
group?
What's your favorite?
Rank them.
None of them.
What's the worst one?
It's like I feel like it's like self-harm to be in them, honestly, because it's just like I don't know.
Are you on any of the fucked up recovery memes pages?
I was in one that was called 13th Step for a long time. That was like demonic memes that were just, yeah. But no, I'm not in any currently.
There's some good content.
Damn.
Ooh, miso soup.
True. Okay. I'm gonna just focus on the menu and hope that all the problems go away in my mind.
All right, buddy.
No. I'm crashing downward to the crust of the earth.
Dude, drink some tea, it'll help.
Yeah. Drink some root beer. It'll make you feel better.
It has a dog with biceps on it. It has to be good.
Is this like the tarantulas?
Oh, yeah, I told you about that, right? Did I tell you what happened when we were driving back from New York?
It was a really scary experience for me.
Did you find out after the fact?
I found out after the fact,
Yeah.
but I woke up because he stopped.
And I like blatantly lied. Everything was fine, but we finished recording. John went to see Beetlejuice on Broadway. Mike was like, "Hey, do you want to come out with me, my mom, and some of my friends?"
I
'Cause
threw a
she's back
fidget
in
spinner
town."
at a waiter. And then I met Mike's mom. No, wait, I met Mike's mom and then I accidentally threw a fidget spinner at a waiter.
Why do you do that?
Mike has a lot of like high society friends. Like I did not belong there. Like every place we went to, everyone was wearing suit jackets, and I'm wearing my patented like red leather jacket and my T-shirt that I made that says "Dead Girl" on it.
I had this open in my...
Just checking in. Have you decided anything yet by yourself, or do you need a few more minutes?
I definitely know, but...
I mean, you guys need more time.
Yeah,
Few more
maybe
minutes,
I
please.
appreciate it. Fuck. All right.
Fucking grow up.
Yeah, I'll let you focus on that.
I had my pop socket out and I had a fidget spinner in my back pocket. And I had my phone in my back pocket and I went to go pay for my drink. And I was standing next to Mike and there was like a waiter maybe 3 or 4 feet away. And I pulled my phone out with such like veracity and force that the fidget spinner got caught on the pop socket and flew out of my pocket and just hit some waiter. And
Who didn't notice?
Who
Thank
didn't
God.
notice? And it just sort of like hit the ground and started spinning slowly.
How did you get it back?
I just walked over and I grabbed it. But Mike's mom, our producer's mother, who I met 5 minutes ago, just said, "Is that a fidget spinner?" And I picked it up. I slammed my drink. I put it in my back pocket. I said, "Yeah, I have to go now. Bye." And then I left.
14th floor rooftop bar in this like way nice part of Manhattan that we shouldn't be in. John goes to see Beetlejuice. We go to an Italian food place where apparently celebrities just go to. She's like, "Oh yeah, I saw like Bradley Cooper here the other day. One of the
Celebrities like Trevor
coaches,
Sullivan.
one of the coaches from that documentary Cheer was there
wow.
when we were there.
The evil one?
No,
The one who's in prison?
not the one. Allegedly, I don't know. I'm only adjacently aware of the show.
Right. I knew the word
what's
for that.
that?
I knew for that.
Which one?
Pop socket. I
Do you
didn't
think
realize there was a word
I know.
for it.
What-
Oh, yeah. It's a fun fidget, is mostly why I like it.
Do you think they have like some kind of like peanut sauce thing?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
a pad
dog.
Thai? Is this Thai food?
I got kicked out of the Ritz-Carlton once
Where? What one?
in Allston.
Really?
So
I've never
I
been.
went to the Star Trek convention with my friend, and my friend did this panel where he got his face made up like a Klingon.
Nice.
And then we went over to this kid's house at the Ritz-Carlton. He lived on the 18th floor. He was really rich. And his dad just paid for him to have this apartment there. And there were like a couple other kids there. And we started smoking weed. And he had this bong with like a million different attachments. It had like percolators and ash catchers and shit. And I took one hit off of it. And I was on the ground. And I was melting into the floor. And then the next thing I knew, my friend is shaking me and screaming at me. And his face is made up like a Klingon. And he's like, dude, we need to go. We need to go right now. It turns out that somebody broke the ash catcher on the bond. And it was like a $500 ash catcher. So the kid got really mad and threw us all out. And my friend's shaking me. And I'm like, and he's like, he's calling security. We need to go. So the next thing I know, we're running through the halls getting chased by security.
So terrible.
The whole time it's a Klingon. I don't know.
Brian, the buckwheat noodles also explicitly say peanut sauce on that same page.
But these are appetizers.
They are. I found peanut sauce. I'm trying to help you.
Thank you. I
Go
appreciate
to this
you.
page.
You're spinning out.
I think you're gonna.
I see what's happening and I'm trying to read
This-
for you.
I'm trying to make
Peanuts?
it worse. This is funny.
No, fuck
No,
that.
I don't.
Fuck
You
that.
want
You could
yours?
ask. You could say, hey, could you put some peanuts on this?
Peanuts,
No.
peanuts. These little peanuts. That is peanuts. That is peanuts.
you want to
Everything here. Almost all these.
Okay, that's good. This is good for
Do
me.
you want to play the penis game?
Yeah, dude.
No,
You want to play
that's
the peanuts
no.
game?
No.
Brian, so
Coconut noodles sounds good.
he texts me at like 11 while I'm waiting in line to buy him a shirt from the Beetlejuice musical.
I'm at a comedy club somehow now where the lady from Jackass 4 is headlining.
What the? Wait.
So
Hold
we're
on a
in two
second.
separate places. We have split. I have thrown the fidget spinner at the waiter and then left. I have gone 24 blocks up and over to Times Square to go see Beetlejuice. I'm drunk. I'm ecstatic that I have seen Beetlejuice because I love Beetlejuice. I'm waiting in line to buy Trevor a piece of merchandise and memorabilia from the Beetlejuice musical, and he texted me, "Hey, I think we should send it and drive back home tonight."
It's 1
Well, it's 11 at this point. But
From New York City. Why were you going to send it? Was it like, did you not?
he just wanted
We were
to.
both just awake and I was like, okay, we'll have the whole weekend in front of us. I can sleep all Saturday. And it's one less day we have to pay. Like, granted, it's like he charges us peanuts to stay there.
How much do you pay in gas on just one weekend to New York?
Honestly, it depends on how
$150
stop and go traffic is because we walk everywhere once we're in the city.
Where do you
So
put your
we only
car?
need to get into
We
Brooklyn.
park in Mike's studio.
It's the studio. It's only on 6th Street. So honestly, we're only driving the city for like 10 minutes, 20 if traffic's
Yeah.
really bad. And everywhere else we walk.
Probably
It's
like a
getting-
tank and a half.
Wow, that actually sounds being able to just leave the van or whatever at
Yeah.
that place sounds like a big advantage.
I've gotten in and out of there, like all the way there, all the way back on probably a tank and a quarter once.
So I take the train back to Brooklyn by myself, and I'm like waiting for Trevor and Mike to get back from their comedy show, hoping that Trevor or Mike will see my text to let me into the studio, so that I'm not just sort of standing outside of this weird brick and metal door by myself. And there's this dude, and he's going between the cars, like while the train is in motion. So he's starting at one end of the car, going all the way to the other end of the car, opening the car door, going to the next car while it's in motion. And he's just like sprinkling powder on the ground, and he's screaming, "This is for the birds. This is for the birds."
Meanwhile, the Jackass 4 lady's bombing.
And are you all ready to order?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Can I do the kale and mushroom delight, please?
Sure, with white or brown rice.
Brown rice, please.
Sure.
Can I get like coconut noodles?
43.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'll go with the curry soup. 44.
Curry soup.
Yes, please.
Oh, 73.
73.
Oh, they do numbers. That's a good strat.
I'll get
Are
70,
we
please.
splitting? Should we say that
Anything
now?
else?
Easier.
Yeah, say it. Tell him.
I got it. I'll put it all on mine. You can Venmo.
Oh, okay. That's easy.
Do you guys still need the menus?
Nope.
Alright, also.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
You're killing it.
I hope I didn't just order something fucking awful, but I'm sure it's good. I'm sure I'll love it. I'm feeling I'm manifesting.
If
that it's gonna
if
be
it's
fucking
bad, you'll only resent me for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, that's not that long for me.
Oh my god.
I'm just
Nothing for
kidding.
like any.
Yeah.
You know.
Not if I
Can't wait
keep
to
at it.
use these.
You know how they say like rising tide, like all ships rise or whatever. Rising tide.
Oh,
floats
right.
all boats. For us, we just sink more. Like collectively.
I'm drowning.
Isn't it funny that like idiom just like probably isn't really true at all?
Rising
Because
tide
there are
floats
people
all
that just rise like individually on their own
Yeah,
ocean.
they pull themselves
where
Millions
up.
of wild.
nobody else it's as if everybody sinks because they're rising.
Right.
That's
But
really
boats
deep.
don't, so.
Thanks.
How do you feel about buoyancy?
I worked on that for like
Yeah, how do you
4
feel
hours.
about buoyancy? Wait, hold on. How did you say that
Yeah, I
word?
think it's just
Buoyancy?
It's
It's
buoyant.
drinking.
A salt lake. You know, it's
Alkaline. Alkaline trio.
This is great content.
There's 4 of them.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to delete this
salty.
episode.
We're probably, if anyone's listening, we're probably actively taking information from them. We're probably actively subtracting from their, like, you're supposed to listen to things so that it makes you look
It
smarter.
like plays your brain.
Do you have
to, like,
like
think
fans at this point that just listen to everything you do?
You know,
Yikes.
every one of them gets
I just miss my
like
friends when I go to
like
bed.
30 to 50 in the first like week or two that they're up, and then maybe after a month or two they might get like 100.
Is that like people that listen all the way through, or like
The
just-
retention
There's
is
some people
pretty.
who do, yeah.
It's pretty. Most of the listeners listen to at least half.
At the end of the next episode, you should say something
Just like-
absolutely bonkers. Like
Yeah.
at the very end, last 30 seconds, just to see if people
They-
are paying attention.
I don't want to say that they don't like
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I
that's
cut you
true.
off.
We do.
Fine, no,
Yeah, I'd say it's a very it's an absolute very not like a wide scale thing. Obviously, like it's not generating money.
I mean like everything that all of us do.
Yes, right. Yeah, but it's growing. It's
Me too.
the
I'm
pod-
robbing
no.
Trevor, actually.
I wish I could speak intelligently about this right now, but I don't even
You
think
just need food.
The episode
like you're
will
not
get better.
like,
it's
you're just
true.
literally
Once we
Yeah,
go,
man.
Yeah.
You seeing tarantulas right now?
Losing your mind.
a few.
Oh, well, that was the thing. So we're driving back, and John passes out on the drive back, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm not going to make John take a shift. And I'm like, I can do this. 3 hours into the drive, this has never happened to
You're
me
like
in
in
my life.
Springfield.
He stops so suddenly that
I was hallucinating
like,
tarantulas on the windshield.
I jerk like awake and I'm like, and he goes, everything's all right. I just needed to use the bathroom.
Pounding an energy drink. I am slamming an energy drink to try to like maintain composure.
But he said it so calm and so sweetly to me that I was like, oh, he just needs to use the bathroom.
like shaking in the parking lot.
Oh my god.
We get back to my apartment at like 5:30 in the morning because I live down the street, and that's before Drake it. He stops and he's like, "Hey, can I use the bathroom before continue driving?"
You could have just gone to sleep.
Yeah.
You could have stayed there.
Well,
have anywhere to park.
Brian has an anti-Trevor rule. Like, no Trevors are allowed in my house.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Different Brian.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I was like,
This Brian too.
I hate that. I hate Trevor's.
I'm just in your home all the time.
And he just sort of like
It's against the rules.
Like he
also.
just sort of looks at me. He's like, "Yeah, I'm really tired." I'm like, "Oh, I mean, I can imagine." He's like, "No. Like, when we stopped, I was seeing tarantulas on the windshields."
And then I started retching as I went down the stairs because my body was just like rejecting the fact that I'd been up for over 24 hours.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate sleeping in cars, like when in motion, like not like sleeping in the car, but like there have been so many times like driving and being asleep in the passenger seat where I would just wake up, dream that we're crashing, like dream that the car is crashing and then wake up,
Yeah.
like thinking this,
Punch the driver.
but it's actually just not, nothing of the sort is happening. Like everything's chill, going like 55,
So
and I just lose it.
this one time,
It's happened to me a couple times.
I was in North Dakota. I was involved with some stuff that was happening there.
Okay.
Some northern
all right.
stuff.
All right.
Some Northern Carolinian stuff.
No, North Dakota.
See, I think I know what you're talking about, and that would make such a fucked up, like, just whole documented interview.
Yeah.
What happened in North Dakota?
There was this energy corporation that was trying to put a pipeline through an Indian reservation, or through the Cannonball River, and the people that lived there weren't happy about it because they were afraid that it was going to leak and fuck their water supply, which it ended up doing. And
Thanks, Obama.
The whole thing, yeah, seriously, no, actually though, the guy's a fucking pussy, but it was crazy. There was a lot of horrifying shit going on with the government and all these different law enforcement agencies, and just a lot of general madness. Just the whole thing attracted all kinds of really fucked up, weird people, and but the drive home, I was losing my ever-loving shit. Like I was paranoid to a level I'd never been before. Like every time I stopped anywhere, I was like, they're gonna find us. We need to get out of here right now. And I wanted to just drive the whole way back in one haul, basically.
To Mass?
From North Dakota to Mass. So
that would have taken you like 3 days with that stuff.
You'd be surprised. No, but so I was just chugging. I had a case of Red Bulls and I chugged the whole thing, like on the drive, and I like basically, and I stopped at this rest stop and oh my god, I was taking this like green shit, this green diarrhea shit. And there was this great moment where the two other people passed out. So the kid whose car it was, I drove back with this other kid, this young guy, and this old woman. And the kid was like, please don't drive my car more than 70 miles an hour because I'm afraid it will break. And I was like, yeah. So like he fell asleep. So I was like, all right, I can drive 100 miles an hour now. And so I'm driving 100 miles an hour, and I'm weaving in and out of the semi-trucks, and I need to take a piss really bad, but I can't stop because I'll wake up. So I get this bottle of iced tea, this empty bottle of iced tea, and I finagle it. I make it happen. Uh-huh. And then like...
So were you like...
The masculine urge to piss while driving?
Well, I couldn't stop the car because they would wake up, so I had to take a piss while I was driving. So I pissed in the
Imagine
bottle.
being like 20 years old and Chris is doing this in a new driver's seat. Just wake up in the worst.
Well, so they didn't wake up.
Also, wait, what time was this?
I don't know, probably like 3.
So it was nighttime.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Keep going.
3 in the morning, and so eventually we stopped at a gas station, and I stealthily deposited the bottle in the trash can. And I went into the store probably to get more Red Bull. And when I came out, the two of them who were also paranoid and noticing everything about their surroundings were like, hey, Chris, we noticed that the bottle of iced tea is in the trash. I'm like, oh, yeah? How did it get there? I was like, well, I put it there. And they were like, well, why is it full?
Wait, what was their tone like?
Were they mad about it?
They weren't mad. They were more just confused. And I told them, I was like, well, I peed in it. And they were like, oh, okay.
It was fine.
Okay. So the confrontation ended.
So we eventually
What did they think happened?
we had to stop. I don't know what they thought. I mean, I think they probably put it together, but
Right.
eventually we had to stop because we were in Ohio and we got caught up in this lake effect blizzard, and the visibility.
Oh, just like a literal. You were in a blizzard.
A blizzard, yeah. It was.
Wait, can we pause for just 1 second? Who are the people that you're with? I missed that part.
Joey Newland and
Like, what were they to you?
Name.
Like, who the fuck were they?
You're doxing.
Were they your friends?
kind
Did
of.
you know them?
Oh, so
before?
I met them on the way out through like a Facebook rideshare thing,
Okay.
so I could get there.
Okay, so you're in the blizzard in Ohio with Facebook rideshare people.
And
How young was the young kid?
I don't know, probably like 22.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
gotcha.
But so I.
Number 43, the coconut pork skin noodles.
Oh, wow, thanks. Great. Looks good.
That looks really good.
Thank you.
So the
Why did you say that?
What? I was just saying, looks great.
That was the perfect example of the last episode where you were like, yeah, sometimes you just say things and like you mean it, but no one thinks you mean it.
Right?
Really? Was that?
Yeah, you're
Was there
like,
talking about
you're like,
drive-thrus?
Thank you.
Yeah. We were at a Dunkin' Donuts the other day, and you're like, "See you later," and they were like, "What the fuck?"
So the story's almost over.
We're at the blizzard.
Sorry, go on.
So anyway, so the visibility was better with the headlights off. That's how bad the blizzard was. A
fucked.
complete whiteout. So we pulled over and we found a motel. And the woman had this poppy extract. And she was like, if you just take like one hit of this, like it'll put you to sleep. So being me, I was like, all right. I took like half the bottle.
But you're not the driver anymore.
We're in the motel now.
Okay.
We're in the motel.
Time's good.
And
I have the 73, the straight coconut dish. And then the 44, the sweet potato plate.
that's me. Oh, hell yeah. Thank you. And so I passed out. I remember it started out really cold and then it got really hot. And I fell asleep watching The Empire Strikes Back. And I woke up screaming at the top of my lungs, "Where the fuck am I?" Because I've been sleeping in a teepee all week, and I woke up and I saw a ceiling, and I was confused.
Yeah, no, I guess as happens.
What time was it when you woke up? Was it a nighttime still, or was it a new day?
It was the nighttime.
It was still nighttime, so you're waking up in pure darkness in a blizzard in Ohio. And what did you hit? It was a poppy vape pen?
No, it was
What the
it was
fuck was
an extract. It was a tincture.
It was a flower.
Oh, I thought you were saying you like ripped
ate a
a
poppy.
vape with some kind of like fucked up
The
shit.
YouTuber's bathwater.
Yeah, it was Gamer Girl bathwater.
Today I'm gonna sell my bath one.
Hell yeah.
So anyway,
Speaking of which,
Holy shit. Whoa.
and then I got home and I just started guzzling bottles of cough syrup every night because I was out of my mind.
Here's the kale mushroom delight.
Thank you.
do you feel like you helped?
No. I mean,
While you were in North Dakota?
I contributed a lot of labor.
So good.
I was
That
working
probably
like
helped a little bit.
I was working like 18-hour shifts doing security
Yeah,
for the
this
camp.
is like this is
That
so
is
good.
fucking nuts.
If it's not good,
Mostly you
it'll
spend all the
be,
time shoveling
you won't
snow
be
and
able to
directing
not
traffic.
be hungry afterwards. That is
true.
I actually
but I'm
kind of
hungry.
became a cop for a little bit. That was really fucked up. There's one time this guy came up and he was like telling me about how somebody robbed his camp and how he needed gasoline, and I was like, well, just give him gasoline. The guy needs gasoline. And I just gotten off like a 10-hour shift, and like I was about to go to bed, and it's like 10 in the morning, and this guy's like, oh yeah, somebody went all through my tent and tore everything up and stole all this shit. And I was just like ready to give him this gasoline, and then this other guy came up and was like, no, like this guy's
thank you.
this guy's always doing this. He's full of shit. You can't give him anything.
Oh my god. He just would show up and lie to just some
I
random
mean, he showed me
volunteer.
his camp. It was destroyed. Somebody fucking ransacked his shit.
Wow. Damn, so we've gotten the food. I like mine. It's pretty good.
I haven't tried mine
really
yet.
Yours
good.
looks really good.
I'm gonna be
It does. It
completely
smells
honest.
really good.
food, rice.
It's really hot, but
I'm not gonna hold
really
anything back.
excited about it.
I was angry at the prospect of going to a vegetarian place because I'm addicted to meat, and I really wanted to go to the shawarma place because I love shawarma. But this actually
place was
fucks
good.
really hard. I'm glad that we came here.
Yeah,
What did you
really-
get?
I
Really,
kept it's called curry soup, but it's like big hunks of sweet potato
The like
over noodles.
regenerate.
Yeah.
Is this just what you do every day?
Yeah.
I can watch you. It's like someone plugged you into a power brick.
Yeah.
Like
There's
Oh,
never
yeah, I'm
not
good now.
intensity. Whatever
I'm
it
good
is,
now.
there's intensity. You know how sometimes we just pause in the middle of an episode and we're like, we're gonna come back, and then like 3 days later we start the recording again?
Yeah.
It's usually because this is happening.
Excuse me. Fucking taking a shit on me right now. Just kidding. Not really.
Brian's afraid of honesty, huh?
we're in
Right.
tree of trust.
No.
I feel
This
like
is a
they're
lie
less
podcast. Podcast of lies. It's a lie cast. Oh, jeez.
This is so good.
Yeah, I'm playing a show with John Hinckley.
are you playing that show?
Yeah, on the
That
live
is-
podcast.
Oh.
Sorry.
I believed you, Chris. I believed you.
And that's your problem.
No, I wish.
Look at me,
Rick
darling.
Pridemore's trying to play that show.
Oh, yeah. Who is it? Jeff?
John Hinckley, the guy
guy
that
who
shot
shot
Ronald
Reagan.
Reagan.
He's
fuck?
he's
I
out
don't
of
even know who
jail
that
and
is.
he plays music now.
Wait, really?
And he's on tour.
How the fuck did he get out of jail? They
Because
really let him out?
it's been
wasn't
a
in jail.
long time.
Are you guys
He came
fucking
back to
with me?
life.
Mental hospital.
So they were like, you're
He went to a mental hospital after that happened, and it was like 40 years later, and they were like, yeah, you're fine now. You're free to go.
Now we just make songs.
I thought it was in lieu of the whole resurrection.
Resurrection?
What,
Yeah.
JFK resurrection? QAnon?
Wait, what?
You didn't know about all the people. It was like some crazy
QAnon
2021 QAnon situation.
That's awesome.
But a big like branch of the
believe in
conspiracy, a big like a thread basically in the whole ethos happened,
something to believe in.
where they thought JFK was going to come back from the dead and then basically like dethrone Joe Biden as the new president.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
With Donald Trump as his running mate. Well, the thing was, they all gathered. I don't know actually, but they all gathered on the grassy knoll in this big QAnon event for JFK to like rise.
That's awesome.
And it obviously didn't happen
A lot of them
because
are still
JFK,
there, like,
you
no
know,
shit.
died in like 1960
really?
something.
I'm
That's
actually
where I am.
Still
disappointed
waiting.
that Elon Musk seems like he's not going to get to take over Twitter. 'Cause
No,
I
no.
really want him to unlock the Troll 2 Twitter account.
They closed that. I think he bought it.
Well, I heard he was
Yeah.
going to have to back out because he's fucking Tesla is losing all its. The stock is tanking.
Yeah, I think it is. I definitely think it is financially fucked because I have also heard that Twitter does not generate profit. Like they lose money every single year.
I mean, how would they make money?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
I love the finance corner of your podcast.
We don't know what the fuck we're saying.
Buy NFTs. It's a really safe investment.
We're
Dude,
dropping
we
a
talk
new
about crypto
line.
on the podcast so
a
often.
lot.
I still don't know what the fuck is going
Boston
on.
Ape NFTs.
I was
Buy one.
Every time we talk about cryptocurrency, I want to die.
No,
Like,
you
I think
don't.
about
You love
dying.
it. You love arguing about
Vividly
cryptocurrency.
thinking about it.
We have insane
feel
fake
that way?
debates about this.
We talk about it all
Why do you
the time.
think? Why do you think it makes you feel that?
I
way?
care about it a lot. Not really. Yeah. I'm actually really invested in a lot of just random like celebrities and pop culture things, like
Scams.
storylines. What's up?
Scammed in reality. Nice.
can't believe you got scammed in reality.
I did, yeah. But yeah, no, I am.
Shit.
You get scammed in reality?
Reality
got
is a
scammed in
scam.
reality.
Reality is a scam?
No,
I was talking to Mike on
no.
Friday or Thursday, and I thought that he didn't. I thought he felt the same way about NFTs that I did.
No, you didn't. You were stirring the pot.
No, I deadass really forgot. So I was like, "Hey man, you want to make some NFTs?" And he's like, "I've already made 6," and like meant it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, John. I see. I thought you were like trying to start.
No, I literally. It's like earlier when I thought that those were crabs.
Yeah,
or
no, they
whatever.
literally
I'm
were
stupid.
like earlier when we were doing the Be Evil run. They were like, "You guys should like make some NFT stuff." And me and John both were like vehemently like, "Well, that goes against every ethical code that we have." And given that we're like completely based on our moral like fiber for everything about this project, maybe not fucking.
Who told you to make NFTs for Bullpup?
Our publicist.
Wanted you to drop a Bullpup line.
And delete our first album until she didn't.
That you guys would have just ruined your life. Like you would have just absolutely fucked up your whole
What are you
band.
talking about? You would have bought all of them.
I would have bought all of them. That's true.
Crypto corner.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Man,
This
I'm
is
just
so
eating.
fucking
I'm
good.
just eating coconut noodles, man.
Are you into it?
Truly.
Yeah, it's fine.
You feeling it?
Pretty good.
You feel?
Can I try a bite of yours?
Yeah.
Hit me.
No, I really.
You want me to feed you a bite?
Yeah.
Meant that. Like I fully.
Or I'll,
Do you want like a more
Just
kale
NFTs.
bite?
That's all good. I just want this.
Okay. You can just take the bite that I was
Oh my
taking.
god, it's
Really
so
went into,
fucking
like,
good.
It is really
I wish
good.
I
When
ordered
you
that.
brought that
Take
up.
some of this.
I have ordered jealousy.
I'm just stupid. I'm just a stupid idiot.
Dude, that is fucking ridiculously good.
It's really good.
Hell yeah.
It's like
Kale.
really, really
Whoa!
good.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I love kale. I eat kale all the time.
Here.
Oh, I'll just do this.
We just stumbled onto something accidentally that
Just
me
checking.
and you were
How's
talking
everything
about.
been so far?
It's fantastic.
That's good. With anything you need anything else right now? Just want to make sure.
I think we're all set for the moment. Thank you.
You literally wanted to talk to us about like advertising art and stuff and like
Yeah.
that kind of thing and that evil back end. And
Yeah.
I know Chris also, just based on his reaction to some of the stuff we were saying earlier, like has opinions on this.
I was thinking about that when we were in the gallery. We were talking about when you guys were saying the stuff that you had to do for like the algorithm and stuff. Because I think about that constantly, like the way that it shapes the actual process of making art. Because you're gonna have to market it a certain way, like
Yeah.
making things tailored to the platforms you're releasing them on.
I am an employee of the TikTok algorithm. It is like my overlord.
How's that make you feel?
Fine. I mean, it's like
We just
most.
get shadow banned, so
Yeah, I got
You guys
shadow
get shadow
banned.
banned?
That song that I did earlier that was about TikToks, I put like a lot of effort into making a TikTok, and I didn't understand how TikTok works, and so I put the word suicide like in the content warning instead of like putting the asterisks. And
I
got
also
shadow
like
banned.
waterboard myself for content because I'm like, A, this is on brand for us, and B, I think it's hilarious.
Did you get flagged for dangerous acts?
No, actually, those ones do the best. The ones where like Trevor is feeling pain are the ones that
Did you
do the
literally
best for
waterboard
us.
yourself?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes. I tied myself to a chair in my backyard, and I can't believe I'm literally about to go over TikTok on a podcast, but basically, I'm sitting in the chair. I'm sitting in the chair, tied to the chair, and Tim's just standing next to me holding a hose. And I just go, "Hi, I'm Trevor from Bullpup, and this is Tim. Say hi, Tim." And Tim, as loud as he can, screams, "Hi, Tim!" And then I go, "We're Bullpup, and we're coming out with a new single pretty soon." I give like the whole spiel, and then I go like,
keeps
"So
fucking
check it out."
blasting.
And halfway through the spiel, Tim just puts the hose on as hard as he can at like this close to my face, and then stops, and then I keep going, and then he starts again in the middle of the sentence, and I just have to not react.
Commitment to the bit, though.
And then I ate a ghost pepper for another one.
I wanted to do a promo ad where we have like a script where so like I can't do this anymore, but if somebody has a band where you use recreational drugs, you can take this. So you have everybody line up and you have like a script and everybody has like parts of the script they're supposed to read, but before everyone reads their bit, they take a rip of salvia.
Holy fucking shit.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, that would be funny, but you would get flagged on like everything that you tried to promote that video on. Like you probably couldn't put that on anything.
Maybe not on Elon Musk's Twitter.
Well, you could put it on Twitter.
You could put it on Elon Musk's Twitter.
That would probably be the only place that you could put that.
4chan.
You could put it on 4chan. That's true. Yeah.
Since
My
when
band
is
blew up,
the
unfortunately.
internet ever
You actually
was?
just have to make your band its own cryptocurrency, and that is how you advertise.
Can you fucking imagine?
Can you even
That would be so
stand
funny.
Bullpup coin.
What's a life
Bullpup.
hack?
named NFT in the near future? Like there's gonna be a breakout band called NFT in the near future.
That's really true.
That would actually be mad funny. Their SEO would be fucking horrible.
They're
though.
gonna be-
like no one would be able to find them.
Worse than having a band called Troll
earnest.
2.
Be earnest.
I mean, that going back to the ad talk, like that
It's
is
really
a,
bad.
That is a really shitty thing about like our band's name is that our SEO sucks
Yeah.
because
there-
it's just guns.
Well, isn't
I
there
didn't
some
know that
other
was a
band
band.
too called like Pup or
Yeah,
something?
There's pop, right? But
There's
bullpup
also
is
bull.
specifically a classification of gun, which I named very intentionally to be an ironic, like horrible thing.
I didn't know when I joined the band that was. I thought
It's
it was like
the,
a
it's the
bulldog.
Counter-Strike.
I literally thought it was like a
Like
little
a
bulldog.
Counter-Strike.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
FMOS.
so like for like 2 years I was like, oh, you know, it's like bullpup, like bulldog, but
It's the
little.
gun where the clip is behind the handle.
Although the first show we ever played at Patterson's, whatever, we got like some military bro come up and like mansplain what a bullpup actually is to me because I said what you just said. He was like, actually, da da da, and I was like, sick. So glad the JROTC showed up to our fucking like 2 a.m. gig.
Have you ever made merch with a dog with a gun?
So this is a blast from the past.
I hate this fucking piece of merch. It was our first merch.
Really?
A person in the scene that we all know, and I
Name drop,
don't-
name drop, name drop.
Well,
First
I
and
can't,
last
I can't
address.
because I only know their dead name.
Oh, mood.
But who was
I have
really
no fucking idea who you're talking about anymore.
Tim
furry
Collins.
artist that
Oh, God.
furry artist that maybe is problematic now for myriad reasons. I think you can fill in the blanks.
Tim Collins.
Stop. And
Very good.
used to drum in a band. That
okay.
okay, yeah.
Gotcha.
I was like, hey, you draw a lot of animals. Like, can you just draw my dog
Do we still have
holding
it?
the gun? And I had to explicitly say, like, hey, no drinker. Like, this is not, like, this is my dog. I don't want to see, like, a pornographic version of my dog.
They still made it
And they
so
were like,
sexy
oh,
though.
Did they draw it like sinewy?
No, but it was like thick. Django,
his belly's a little
Django.
too pink for my liking.
That sounds really
Can I
funny though.
find it? No, I think
I have
I
the image
purged
still.
it. I purged it because it's my least favorite thing I've ever been involved in.
Were you gonna
So
use
the
it for like a
answer is
shirt?
yes. No, we had it for stickers, but we ended up not making them.
Can I use it for my band?
You absolutely, but please keep the word bullpup on it.
That's pretty funny.
See, here's the thing. Here's the ultimate. You want the real fucking life hack? You want the real shit for how you make
It's
it?
not as bad as I was
As a
picturing.
DIY
No,
artist,
it's terrible.
How do you make it as a
Was
DIY
worse.
artist?
you have this thing
Wait,
called
really?
a day job.
There was a-
You can, like,
the
edit the
first
dick out of
draft.
it.
You get a job where you have steady employment. It helps if you have like, you know, a career where you can make a decent wage, and then you can just do whatever you want.
That is
You don't need
true.
to worry about anything.
Yeah.
The additional on top of that is just become the person who approves your own days off. Have a day job and approve your own days off. There you go.
I mean, that's
Trevor,
basically what I
just
do because I'm
sell
the only person in my fucking
NFTs.
company that can paint. I just take days off whenever I want because there's nothing they can do about it.
You're valuable.
If they fire me, they'll be screwed.
Yeah, that actually does help a lot, doesn't it?
That's pretty much where I'm at.
Fucking paint houses. It's a blast.
Like Aaron West.
Oh man.
You do what I do. Just get a new job.
So
for
fucking
$3.
good. I love that shit so much.
That first song on
It's
Lead
not
paint
great
and salt air.
yeah, that song I identify with every single bit of that song.
Yes, please. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I feel like we need to have
Yeah, thank you so much. It was great.
We're recording at some
Yeah,
point soon.
I think that's true.
Wow, this meal kicks my ass.
That's awesome. Looks like there's some tofu in there too. Some tofu, sweet
Yeah.
potatoes, and noodles.
There's
Yeah, that does
a
look
lot of
fucking good.
stuff that I would
But I
talk
just-
about on the
I
podcast,
never-
but there's
I
too many
always
people
finish.
that I know personally that might be listening
Oh, yeah.
to it. That it's
Damn,
like I'm
yeah.
delving too deep into my actual personal life.
No, you gotta
See?
spill the tea.
We were talking about sweet potatoes and noodles. What were you talking about?
I was
It
talking
seemed
about my
important.
personal
You
life
gotta-
being in shambles.
You gotta farm drama.
I'm just kidding.
It sucks.
I have,
You're like, oh, yeah.
I have a real art
Names
podcast
before
question
they-
that I thought about driving down here.
What?
Oh, do you think it was kind of jumping off of the last episode that went up? Do you think that your art is perceived by others the way that you intend it to be perceived?
No.
No.
Yeah.
For me, I would
Every
say 1 out of. Well, that's actually a tough question. Actually, I'm going to answer it simply. I would say like 1 out of like 100 people will say like, oh my god, like, and like just say what I feel about it, and they feel the exact same way. And that's cool because I'm like, wow, that's like so fucking weird because we somehow have the exact same like life experience
Yeah.
that has led you to identify with it the same way as me. But most of the time, it's somebody who just likes it and identifies with it for some completely alternative reason that I did not even like think about ever. But I'm in the habit these days of never correcting anybody when they read something into my art.
That's a good habit to be in.
Yeah, like if somebody if somebody looks at it and says, "Dude, this looks just like my fucking like grandma," it makes me so happy. I'm like, yeah, it's a grandma painting.
You're like, yeah, I painted it about your grandma.
Yeah, or
Painted
that's
over
actually
time.
that's a bad example. Or like one time, actually, I don't want to tell that story.
Why? In
Well,
case they're gonna hear.
Yeah, in case the person hears and then goes, "Oh shit."
They're not gonna hear.
Well, this person's basically somebody one time asked me like, "Hey, like, can I like get that painting of like the woman holding the baby?" And I was like, "What? Like, what on earth
Oh
are
my
you
god,
talking
that
about?"
was me.
Right. Yeah. Well, the thing. Long story short, this person inquired about a painting about a woman holding a baby, and they ended up showing me what they were talking about, and it was absolutely not that at all. It was like an abstract figure, no baby in it at all. Like it was just totally not. But they just felt like it was that, and so I don't know. I felt like the right thing to do was to just let it be. Just be like, yeah, that is what it is.
Can I ask you a follow-up question, jumping off of Trevor's question? Brian?
Wait,
you-
before you do, I want to know Chris's answer.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Chris.
perfect.
Well, okay, I mean, I'm gonna go off on a thing for a minute, but
Fuck it. We got time.
so I have this song that I wrote called "We All Take Drugs," and it was my band's most popular song for a really long time. And my favorite thing about it is that it's kind of like a Rorschach test. Like I've had many people come up to me after that song, after we play, and explain to me what they think the song is about. And a lot of them are wildly different interpretations, some of which are contradictory.
Do you feel like there's a central one, or like a common one?
Usually that they think I'm saying that pharmaceuticals are bad, which I think is. I'm not saying anything is the point. The trick is there's no message, but you can read whatever message you want into it. But I mean, and with songs in particular, I think part of what's interesting about them and the way that people interpret them is that because you experience it over a period of time and you don't memorize it the first time you hear it. Like there are certain lyrics that are going to stand out to you and resonate with you differently. So it's possible for people to interpret things wildly differently because, you know, whatever they're like, it doesn't matter what the song is about. If there's like one line in the song that they connect with for some reason that has nothing to do with why you wrote the song, like that might be that song might have a ton of meaning to them for that reason.
Yeah, it's like why take it away from them?
Yeah,
it's like fuck it.
Oh yeah, no,
keep it, keep that interpretation.
When we played with Ramshackle Glory the first time, this is
2013.
The most like geeked out moment of my life.
Yeah,
at the end of the set, Pat the Bunny came up to me and was like, "Hey man, I really like that We All Take Drugs song. I think like a lot of people don't understand it, but I understand what you're talking about."
Wow.
I was like, I don't know if you do, but that's cool that you think that. But
That's
also,
so
I'm like
fucking crazy.
literally gonna pee my pants.
Are you still working on this? Or?
No, I'm done. Thank you very
Would you
much.
like me to wrap this up too?
I would, yeah.
Go for it. In 1 moment.
Pat the Bunny at that time, I feel like was like one of the most transformative artists ever because it seemed like he was going through a public massive transportation.
If you can wrap this up, that would be amazing.
Transformation, not transportation.
Thank you.
At the same time.
Public.
Yeah, right. And the most dope part about it to me was that he just like got off the train. Like he just said, "Hey guys, I'm fucking out." And I thought that was pretty hardcore because at the time I think I was like still in high school when he quit. So I was like very beyond, like I was definitely not capable of understanding whatever life situation he had that he
His
revealed
situation
publicly.
was that he had a cult-like fandom that was not behaving okay.
Right.
Like he had like people calling him up in the middle of the night, like people getting his phone number and calling him and telling him like I want to kill myself.
Yeah, that's
like I don't
nuts.
know who you are. Like you can't do this.
Yeah,
Like,
but what I think, looking back, is so hardcore is that he had that literal cult-like fandom, but he just actually like exploded all of it, threw it away willingly, deleted a massive Facebook page, with, like that his audience was centralized on, you know what I mean, to hear from him on a regular. Like he just fucking nuked everything for no reason, and I don't know. I just think that's pretty lit. What were you gonna say?
it's gonna wait till the podcast is over. I'm sorry.
John, what's your question?
Oh, yeah,
That'd be
my
fucking
question.
crazy.
Do you think that do you find that like, because you're both a visual artist, but you also do music, do you find people are more on the money with your songs than they are with what your art means? Like your visual art means?
It's hard to say because
I always just cheat. Hold on, where's my
What is it? John's usually pretty good about it. I just didn't want to interrupt John, but
Anyways, just do 10.
I think it's hard to say though
And, like,
because I
round up the
have
dollar.
Thank you.
a wonderful.
Thank you so much.
I'm all set. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have a surplus of feedback to me about visual art.
Right.
20% would be 13.
Oh my god, you're right. Math brain is
Oh fuck!
off.
Oh shit! I do the same thing you do, where I'm just like, fuck it, just write 5 or 10 or whatever.
Okay, so
Obviously not. If it's a shitload of
I
money.
mean, your songs are a lot more literal. I feel like
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to like. I feel like a huge aversion. Like when I start to talk about music, there's like something in my brain that's like, shut the fuck up, stop talking to everybody about music, and I just like I'm like blocking myself all the time from doing that.
Right.
But I talk about art all the time. Oh yeah, let's get out of here. These people are probably like ready to kill
I have
themselves.
to use the bathroom.
Oh okay,
You
sure.
can now talk shit about me for 2 minutes.
You got it. Your wallet's on the table also.
Cool.
Yeah, dog.
But yeah, I think critically about art all the time, but not really as much about music. And every time I do, I'm like, man, I really want to think about music more. But then I don't.
I'm trying to think if I've had a lot of experiences with feedback that doesn't match what I made.
Yeah, I was actually curious to hear your response as well to that.
Well, I feel like it's kind of tough because I mostly do like still lifes and self-portraits, so it's kind of hard to, like, there's not really a lot for the person to respond to that has anything to do with me.
I feel like there is.
I had one time where I did a still life that had a can of El Paso refried beans in it, and I made that because when I was living in Allston, I was in like the depths of my eating disorder and would only eat El Paso refried beans. So it was like a really like sad thing for me. And someone bought it for me and they were like, I'm from El Paso. Like, this is so nice. It reminds me of home. Like, can I buy this? And I was like, fucking yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
that's good, because
It
you
was
probably
weird.
would have totally fucked up the vibe if you were like, yeah, man.
Yeah. I was like $80.
Right, yeah, hell yeah.
So I don't know, stuff like
Are we
that.
still podcasting?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Can I answer my own question?
Yes.
And I'm gonna seem like a mega tool while I do it.
Please do.
So dope.
So yeah. Okay, let's go aside first. And I'll just like scream over the cards.
Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you so much.
So you play with your cards.
Yes. At Bullpup Band. So
His personal.
yeah,
That's
you
the
listener,
band Venmo.
you listener too can Venmo me at Bullpup Band.
Yeah, Venmo Trevor.
I was actually just thinking, is that sensitive information? One time I said my phone password on the podcast, and I was like, is that bad?
I gave out.
All of you
Trevor's-
guys
we freaked out.
And I was like, only if we have your phone. And like the only person that knows you is like me and 3 other people that listen regularly.
Oh, how much do I need to pay?
The last Bullpup show, I gave out Trevor's phone number because I ran out of
Yeah, it
stuff
was
to say
probably-
on stage.
You just said Trevor's number.
Yeah, I was like, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and Facebook. And
Also call Trevor.
also, here's
You wanna know something
Trevor's
funny?
phone number.
We did an interview. Oh my god, they just shut off the light. We were like holding them up so bad.
Well, I said that and they were like, no, don't worry about it. We hang out anyways.
Oh, okay,
so I was
good.
like, okay.
We interviewed this dude who was just at the open mic. We were all at Dwayne. He was the dude with glasses.
Yep.
Great guy. But he threw me the most crazy curveball on the episode with him. Because at the end,
Oh, yeah.
at the end when we were usually like, oh yeah, like, what's your Instagram so people can come check you out? He's just like, yeah, my phone number is this. And he just said his phone number.
That's what I did.
And said, hit me up.
But it wasn't.
Call me. And
my
I was like,
phone
that's
number.
fucking crazy. Right.
It was his phone number.
My phone number is 781-985-3168. My name's Chris O'Grady.
So
Call me up.
So Trevor's answered the
doesn't happen
question.
to you.
We're like so far removed now. I just feel silly.
Oh, yeah.
But
I mean,
So,
dick pics.
Trevor, tell me, do you feel like the way people interpret your art is different than the way you wrote it or meant it?
almost is my answer because I think that I tend to bury my lead too much in that a lot of my lyricism is like exclusively overcomplicated wordplay, which makes me sound way smarter than I am, but it's more just like I do a lot of word association and then I'm like thinking like 3 layers deep of the meaning of the word, and then when people listen to it, I just don't think anyone gives a shit enough to analyze it when I'm making things exclusively to be analyzed, i.e. the project that's coming out. All of them, it's going to be like a series of rock opera singles that are all character pieces, but none of the characters are just like characters in the thing. They're metaphor for something much bigger as a concept. No one's going to give a shit about that.
See,
and that scares me because, like the song I played today at the open mic, that is literally just about like sleazebag of all sleazebags.
Right.
What if someone takes that as earnest? You would think no fucking shot because like of our track record and all of the other songs that we made that have
Wait,
been,
because the song is first person?
yes,
Oh, okay.
and like every song we've done prior has been mostly third person and like call out posts more so than like
Well, you
role
did
playing.
Veronica in first person, and no one took it that way.
No, because it was the voicing of it was different though. It was like here is this person,
Right.
and then instead it's just I am this person. What's that, Liz? And it's like that. If that doesn't read well to someone, someone's instantly gonna think that I'm just like evil.
So here's what you got to understand. When people aren't going to have any context and they use 20% of their brain, maybe, when they interpret things. So, yeah, that's probably going to happen, but it also doesn't matter. The scarier thing is that people are going to hear that and they're going to think, yeah, this guy's awesome.
Oh, right. And then you're going to cultivate a fan base of just psycho pieces of shit.
Like complete
I'll say this,
incels.
though.
That's great because then they come to your shows and you're just like, what up?
I don't think, though, that you are in a genre where people wouldn't give a fuck about what you're saying. Because, like, think about the genres where the lyrics or the vocals straight up don't matter. Like jam bands.
Right.
Don't fucking matter. The vocal, who cares what they're saying? EDM usually is not lyrical centric, even if it has lyrics. I don't
people
know.
don't care about us, period. Yeah,
Well-
it's more the issue.
Well, I'm just saying though that if somebody liked you guys have a kind of fusion where, like, say, like folk, for example, is literary. Like, it's very much lyrically oriented. Not always, but and then there are bands where it's just about the fucking movement and the thump and the feeling. But I feel like indie rock is like, or like a lot of rock and folk and whatever exists at the intersection of that. Or like a million fucking genre. Rap exists at the intersection of that because it's usually dance music and is completely lyrically, lyrics are a vital organ in the genre.
Right.
And I feel like that's where you guys are too.
Let me just tell a quick story.
Do you guys want to move or do you want to stand and chill?
We can walk while we
I'm a little cold, but I'm okay.
So
keep going, Chris.
One time, my band made
Let's
a music
wander.
video. We got a song called "I Got a Stick." It's a series of escalating penis metaphors meant to describe the progression of violence throughout the history of mankind.
I didn't catch the phallic theme.
So we made a music video for it. But instead of announcing we've got this new music video coming out, we said we're going to the Trump Kim Jong-un nuclear summit in Singapore.
Dude, I remember that.
We said like, and Fitzy made this video where he was like, yeah, like CNN hired us to go report on the nuclear summit because they want like the perspective from the scene. And like we thought like that's such a ridiculous thing, and we're just gonna be like, oh, haha. Like,
I believed it.
What a silly joke! Everybody fucking
I thought it was
believed
real. I was like, that's fucked.
So just never underestimate what people will believe when you say it.
Well, the other thing that's scary with like,
You should drop a Ukraine album
dude, no.
and promote a release show
Well,
in your Ukraine.
The other thing that's scary to me
I have something to tell you later.
is that like a song like Veronica,
Yeah.
where people automatically presume because we're a predominantly mask-passing band that we don't know anything about like domestic and sexual violence at all, and that it couldn't have possibly happened unto us. And even though the character piece I'm doing is about a femme-presenting person, like that doesn't mean that those stories don't come from like partially our lives.
Yeah.
And then everyone just presumes that we're speaking like on behalf of women and shit like that, which sucks to the point where John, do not expose any identities
I will not
here.
name any names.
We literally got told once, like, by this lady who was high off her ass, man, Bullpup's like doing the most for women out of any band ever, and that like disgusted me because I was like,
it really affirmed my gender.
you're right, but okay, great.
And the fact that it disgusted Trevor was pretty transphobic, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, it was just like we're trying to tell our own stories and like lift up other voices and not like steal those voices.
Sure.
And that's like a really thin line to walk, and I try really hard to walk it well.
I think you're probably trying harder than like a majority of the people. You know, I feel like most people don't try at all.
That's a good
Yeah.
To, you know what I mean? To like be like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
We're just like so heavily rooted in activism, like at our core, like as a concept for a band too, to where like I feel like we have to be overcautious with that kind of thing, because if we're actively doing damage to a cause we're trying to promote, like, and
It's
I
a
guess
common dilemma.
I guess that kind of
people do that.
Right. I guess that kind of goes hand in hand with the question, like, do you think your art is perceived the way you intend it to?
Oh, I understand why you asked this now.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense in the context of that.
Because like,
For me to answer that question, I feel like I have a very different experience than Trevor, because literally all of the songs that I sing for Bullpup are just about being trans or having done too many drugs.
Gotcha.
And I feel like it's now our audience is trained where when I start to sing, it's like this song is about being trans. It's a metaphor for being trans. So I feel like all of mine land exactly how they're intended to.
Gotcha. Oh, that must be a nice feeling.
and then I'm worried because of the nuance of I'm doing character pieces, and it's not necessarily coming directly, even though they are experiences I've had, I'm putting them into character pieces because it's easier for me to like explain. It's kind of like my guess it's like painting the picture kind of like with words, you know, like just like setting the scene. It's easier for me to do that through characterizations than it is like just like, here's the story, here's what happened, doodly-doo, you know?
Let me ask you guys this. Okay, so as a premise that you would have to accept what I'm saying is generally true to answer my question in any way.
Okay, nice.
So, it's
Hypothetically.
okay, so
Hypothetically, I'm right. Anna.
Okay, so let me say this. I am of the opinion that music criticism, I said this the last time we recorded together actually, that music criticism is unbelievably harsh and sometimes outlandish in the expectations put on the artists compared to fine art and painting, which people literally get away with murder and meet zero standards almost all of the time.
Okay.
And can do literally anything they want and gets basically no scrutiny. Versus, so my question is, so maybe you feel that way, maybe you don't, but my question is, do you guys think that music has too much scrutiny, or do you think that art does not have enough? Like, do you think that music scrutiny and the way that artists are like fucking held under a microscope with shit like this, like, do you think that it should be like that and that painters should be held to the same standard, or do you think the standard's too high?
I have a scathing hot take.
Hit me.
I think it's that people care more about music only because of the day and age that we live in, where that is like something you can stream at any given moment.
That's true.
Yeah.
And you can't like sit in your car and stream a painting. So so you know what I mean? No,
I like that.
Like, the social conscious of like visual art is significantly less than, and you can't have like someone mansplain a painting to you that's like just a dude you see in a fucking Allston bar, right? Like, I'm sure you guys have people in the art community that would mansplain it because they themselves are like at least aware.
To get into that shitty bar.
They're all like at least aware of what a painting is, or at least in their own mind are. If they aren't exposed to that, they can't have that like false sense of confidence because they don't even know it's something they can be falsely confident about.
That's interesting.
I don't know if I said that correctly, but I think I kept with the.
I think I agree with that, actually.
Okay.
I was like preparing an argument against the original point, but I don't know. Maybe I'm swayed right now.
Brian, accepting your premise, which I don't necessarily agree with, but accepting your premise, I think it has to do with the fact that like when you put out a single or a whole record, you're putting out like many pieces of art all at once, and people see the whole process. Like with us when we were making our record, people like heard the songs for the first time 3 years before we put them out and watched like the development of it.
Like two people, but yes.
Yeah, but,
Gotcha.
but you know what I mean? So like you watch the growth, you don't necessarily like watch someone paint the same piece over and over and over again until they nail it. I don't know if that's a thing that people do. I
So
think
there's a kind of finality.
there's a finality and investment, I think. Like, I think when you're asking someone to invest in your record, you're not asking them to put more money into it, but you are asking for more of an emotional return, both in time and the way that you're feeling about it. Does that make sense?
It absolutely does make sense because I feel like a lot of the times with like art too, or with fine art, there's a more kind of like ambient quality to it where it's like there isn't like people are just kind of sorry, I'm like getting wicked distracted, but people aren't usually like there isn't a lot right.
How much do you want for it? So I was like, okay.
Working around these people, I guess I'm saying that there's a lot more people making a declaration with music and with lyrics than there is with art. Versus with art, people are just kind of doing shit.
So I have a counterpoint to the original premise
Okay.
where I feel like I didn't say this originally when we were talking about being misunderstood because I tend to get pretty mad about it, honestly.
Being misunderstood?
The typical reaction I get to a lot of my paintings is like,
Okay.
aside from the still life stuff, I also use self-portrait as a way to kind of explore narratives. And I use myself as a figure because it's easier. Like, I just have a lot of photos of me accessible and I can take more in like 2 seconds and get the angle I need.
Makes sense.
But they're not, like most of the time, they're not actually like depictions of me. They're like, I'm expressing a greater point just using an arbitrary figure.
An
which is just
avatar.
me. Yeah, essentially. And I feel like a lot of the time, especially when it's work about like gender and like, I make a lot of work about gender and like sexual violence, but people look at my art and they're just like, they think it's like just like girly shit because they're just self-portraits. You know what I mean? Like I get feedback a lot that I just paint myself, and people don't really think about it longer because it's just like usually delivered via Instagram. They're self-portraits. It's like those kinds of like visuals, I guess. And to me, I kind of have tried to just divorce myself from the idea of even caring about people that have that feedback because they're not really thinking about it that hard anyway. But it can be really frustrating because when you're trying to make an actual, like a larger point with your art, people don't give it as much credence as they might something that they'd have to sit with for like 2.5 minutes, like a song. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like they just scroll past it and they're like, all right, selfie, whatever, fuck it.
That's interesting too. And when the art is directly about you and like a real, like your real life experience, it isn't like they're like you can lose the luxury of like frivolous misinterpretation. Like when I paint something that has nothing to do with my life, and I don't really care about it, and someone misinterprets it, I don't care. But if it was something that was deeply personal to me and about my experience,
yeah,
and someone completely misinterpreted it, I would probably feel differently.
Well, I guess the other thing too. Yeah.
Because every single thing, at least in terms of Bullpup, everything we put out, if it like made it to like the finish line in terms of being released, it like bled from my soul, from like a very deep and earnest place.
Right. So when it's shit upon,
so
it's
like
not
if
art
it's
that's
just like
being shit upon, it's your soul.
And if it's seen incorrectly, it's like I would take it more earnestly if someone was like, yeah, you're a piece of shit, you're like incel, and I'd be like,
oh no.
Well, I guess that's another thing too about the like visual art versus music or writing, I guess, thing is I think with visual art, maybe people are less critical because they're less inclined, unless they're already in a setting where they're thinking analytically, to be critical of imagery. Like nobody assumes that a visual is an analogy until they're already waiting for that headspace. Like the white cube effect. If you saw a painting of a woman that's naked in lingerie in her bedroom in a gallery, you might look at it longer and try and figure out what the narrative is. You see that on Instagram, you scroll past it. It just is what it is.
There's like it's like the Instagram feed is like this like dark shadow self of the gallery.
Instagram is
like
just a stand-in
inversion
for that. But yeah, like because if you think about it, in the context of a gallery space, you're probably asking yourself who made this piece. It's probably notable that person is a femme person if they are, and then that like is kind of a reclaimed narrative of like if I make a painting of myself and I'm like naked or in lingerie or something, if a male artist did that and it was just like
a painting of a naked woman or something.
Yeah, versus me doing it for myself, maybe there's some kind of narrative that comes with that. And a lot of the time, like that's specifically what I do in a lot of my work. And I tend to end up having a lot of people following me on Instagram or people that are into my art that are just like idiot dudes. And it's like, it kind of has nothing to do with what I'm actually saying, so I try not to mind as much. But I think with visual art, people are less critical because they don't think to be critical until they're already in a space that encourages that. Like what you were saying about like art people doing art thinking, kind of.
Yeah, well, everyone can talk too, so everyone can make words, but not everyone can make a picture.
Yeah.
So I've got a specific example I think relates to this question. So Meghan Trainor's All About That Bass.
Yep.
We've all heard that song. That song got a lot of criticism online in the type of like feminist critical, not gender critical, the feminist critiques that were really popular at the time. There were a lot of think pieces going around, and there was a lot of analysis over. I read multiple essays that went line by line analyzing her songs, and that infuriates me because they're treating it like it's an essay. And the problem with that is that a song can't be an essay because you're trying to fit, like, even if it's a highly conceptual song with a strong message, it still needs to be fit into the constraints of a song. And in the case of a song like that, it's a pop song. Those constraints are very specific. It has to, all the lines need to fit over a meter. It needs to work with the melody, and then most of the energy that's going into the song is based on the production and the composition and all that shit. So at the end of the day, like what is the song about? It's not that deep. This chick was trying to make a song to make fat girls feel good about themselves, and that type of critique is really unwarranted. Now, just to throw in completely unrelated to anything, my problem with the song is that she does it in an almost cartoonishly black voice. And that's not even the entire problem, because if that was her whole shtick, like, that's one thing, but she drops out of it on one line. She drops out of that voice and goes to her actual voice, and it's like, oh, that's what you really sound like when you're not putting on this shtick.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I feel like that type of critique. So I guess if I could make a point to what I'm saying is I think the problem that I see is the wrong types of critique being applied.
Dude, it's like, you know what I see online? People say a lot, and I agree with the sentiment of the statement, but it's like, you know how there's like a lot of like absurd science criticism in the world right now of people just like questioning things that are just fucking nuts? But there's a lot of people that respond in this liberally way where they say like, you didn't do your research, like were you in a lab? Like were you peer reviewed or this or that? I'm sorry, I don't know why you're reacting like that. Because like it's like a similar misapplication of a thing where it's just like nobody is in a fucking lab doing research. Like everybody is reading shit online or reading books. And it's just like, that doesn't mean that like this like anti-vax person is like in the right. But it's just like obviously they didn't do peer-reviewed research to come to this.
The pro-vax person. They're not in a lab.
Right, that's what I mean.
Research.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So
like
here we go, Boston Art Podcast. Fucking anti-vax.
That's right. Anti-vax.
Vaccines. They're gonna
we also
microchip
are
you.
completely anti all about that bass, no trouble.
Let's go, Brian.
Highly militant against that song. Just kidding. It's probably fine.
I feel like there's also
the song sucks. I hate.
I remember when I listened to it a few times on the radio when that was popping.
I feel like there's also no like echo chamber in the same way for music that there is for visual art. At least as criticism goes, like there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of music journalism sites where everyone has an opinion, and writing about music is so difficult because there are only so many ways that you can say this song was bad or this song was good.
Yeah.
So like eventually you just have to go into this song was better, this song was worse, this song was great, this song was horrible, this song was fantastic, this song is terrible, and it's a wave. There's an audience for that. I don't know if there's like...
Well, the audience is crucial though because you can't do real analysis. You can't do real criticism of what's going on musically because nobody's going to fucking understand what you're talking about.
Exactly. So it's like more of an entry level critique for the masses than like there's not thousands and thousands and thousands of like, here are all these painters that you should check out. For better or worse. Like whether that is a good thing or that is a bad thing, people will fucking read whatever stupid bullshit article that you write about like your top 5 favorite Nickelback songs and why they're better than you think. But like no one's gonna...
It's a good headline.
Right?
I would read that article.
I know. I know that because that's an article that I almost wrote for Switch Pitch just for fun.
You should.
I was about to say that I really hate music criticism, but would that be offensive to you?
No, fuck it. It's
I've done a podcast for a long time about it. I don't care.
I mean, I don't write anymore in a sense of like this song is good, this song is bad. I write in a the artist is dead and I don't care what the artist has to say about their song. Here's how I interpreted it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like between that and the fact that there are so many more avenues for like an artist, like a music artist to create an unhealthy parasocial relationship with their audience, or for an unhealthy parasocial relationship to be formed with them unwillingly. I don't know if that exists in the same way for like a really good graphic designer.
That's really interesting too, because
the graphic designer probably definitely not.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying?
Well, it's interesting too thinking about the accessibility differences between visual arts and music, because like what you were saying earlier, I was thinking about that a little bit more, and like it is true. Like it's not. You could see the same painting in the context of it being like in someone's storage room or like in like the barn or something like that, and it doesn't have the same grandiosity as it would have if it was in a gallery or something like that. Which there's books written about that. That's literally like what the White Cube is about. But that also means that that's the function of that space isn't anything to do with like you could have it on the wall in your bedroom and you could see it could be well lit, it could be accessible, people could be looking at it and talking about it, but there's no implied attitude. Like you're almost being told by entering that space what you're supposed to feel, what you're supposed to think in terms of like saying, I complain about this all the time, but saying shit like, instead of being like, this painting looks really nice next to this one, being like, the vibration of these juxtaposed pieces in the space evoke a...
Yeah, we learned the word polychrome recently.
Yeah,
Nice.
It means painted.
It means painted
I
with
flipped out in the
multiple
Harvard Art
colors.
Museum, to be honest with you. But
Polychrome. Because there was a piece where it was like polychrome ivory, and I'm like, what does that
You know that
mean?
guy that painted Epstein didn't kill himself on the wall?
Oh, yeah,
gallery?
at Art Basel or whatever
I know
the
that
fuck.
guy.
Oh yeah, isn't he from Boston?
Rod Weber, yeah.
Oh,
That would be a funny interview.
You should absolutely fucking interview Rod
maybe
Weber.
you could
Oh
try
my
to
God.
liaison
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
for us.
I'll try to set that up.
Great,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, that guy's
Appreciate
nuts.
it.
You
Fucked.
should axe off the first like 40 minutes of this episode where all of us were like, we're hungry and
Absolutely.
dying. And then like,
Nah, this is only for the real fans.
Yeah.
That's right.
You gotta earn it.
we touched on some like salient points though.
There's also like a layer of separation when you see a piece in a gallery where you can't, like, someone who really likes Actor by Bullpup, right? They look at that, they find my Instagram
Yeah.
while they're listening to the song, and they tell me that. Right? If you're in a gallery, there's such I'm observing this piece in the space. I'm looking at it. I'm taking in
Yeah.
the artist's name. I'm taking in the rest of the pieces. There's not like this, like, I have access to
Well,
the
that-
person
that's
who
by
made
design,
this.
too.
And it is
Definitely on
probably
purpose.
a lot better.
A lot of galleries in Portsmouth, New Hampshire specifically, this is such like a weird poll, but Danny went to school at UNH, so we would always go to Portsmouth on the weekends because it was like somewhere to go
Nice
where we
city.
could just like fucking walk around. Sometimes we would go to Friendly Toast and get like coffee drinks and like be like day buzzed.
Shout out
whatever.
Friendly Toast.
Friendly Toast
Nice
is my
place.
favorite place.
Sponsor us, Friendly Toast.
Truly.
Hell yeah, hit me up.
Everyone involved with this project, Friendly Toast, come through. But all of the galleries out there, and I've never seen anywhere else, have the Instagram tags under every single picture. Every single one of whoever the person is that
That's
like
actually
Oh,
awesome.
right.
made it. And I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
And it didn't even click with me that that was a weird thing until you just brought that up.
Well,
That's sick.
It like one thing that's like really important to remember, like specifically about museums. I know Theo would have a lot to say about this too, but museums are not like a modern invention. Like they are from like museums are hella colonial.
No
Like
NFTs at the museum.
They are cultural colonialism. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm not even just talking about like the British Museum, which is like the poster boy of like grave robbing mummies.
Yeah.
Talked
And,
about the Black Panther thing in the last
right, like
episode,
Black
right?
like Killmonger murdering the curator, which is such a funny
yeah.
scene.
Rat.
But
Rat City, baby!
Oh, Rat.
They're gonna dox us now. They know.
But like there is like an institutional, like you're supposed to feel like you were like you're. Have you been to the Lincoln Memorial by any chance in
Yes.
DC?
Yeah.
So you know when you're there,
Got bit by a goose there.
there's like you're looking at like a fucking giant, like a demigod in this like marble fucking like Greek room, and there's like it's looking out of this reflect, and like you're like this guy fucking is a god.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? And there's this like violence, like this crushing fucking power of the Lincoln statue looking down on you, the peon,
Right.
alive 200 years, whatever. But like that's how the museum's supposed to make you feel. Like that's a fucked up thing, but it's supposed to make people feel small and beneath it. It's supposed to be like gold and marble and like Versailles. Like
I got
it's
a personal
you know.
anecdote that relates to this, and I don't know. I think I might be pushing back on some of the stuff you've been saying, but maybe I've figured it out over the course of this conversation how it actually doesn't. So I paint houses. I've been inside of a lot of people's houses, and a lot of people have stuff on their walls. Right? There is this one fucking guy in particular who I walked into his house and immediately I knew this guy's an art collector. This guy's really serious about art.
one of them are like
I think I know what you're talking about.
What's his address?
What did he have?
It was
What did he have?
on Grasshopper Lane in Situate.
Jesus Oh my god, I was not.
Interesting.
Well,
Say more.
I don't
know
know.
an
I don't know
I know a
anything about
rich
art.
art collector from Situate.
But so it was. I mean, it was just. It felt to me like it was just because of the art itself. I guess there were like some of them had like little lights, so like you could see.
Oh,
like,
the little brass gallery light thing
brass
up the top,
gallery
yeah.
lights
In his house?
In his house, yeah.
Nuts.
Well, no, like a guy had money,
Yeah.
and like some of them, and I looked some of them up, like because they had signatures on it. One of them I could read the signature, I think, and I looked it up, and I was like, okay, this is like an
Some
artist,
real shit.
some real shit. But like, it seemed to me like I walked into this house, and because of I hate the word quality, but because like some quality of this art, to use it in the neutral sense, is really fucking striking to me. Like this is real shit. This is not like just the fucking like boring Jesus pictures on the old ladies' walls, or like like just some nice like beach scene that you get at the beach fucking art gallery, like and I mean it was mostly I guess there was stylistic stuff. It was mostly abstract expressionism there was a really interesting sculpture. There were a few interesting sculptures. There was different styles, and it wasn't like, because I've also been in like rich people's houses where they have art on the walls to show how like cool and worldly and rich they are, and it's like, this is garbage.
Yeah.
It's like I see what he's doing there. Like, that's really boring. Like this was some real shit. But I also wonder now if that's not doing the same thing. If it's not like this rich guy's house is creating the effect of a museum by the fact that it's this big. The house wasn't actually that big.
Curation. This is a reason why, like, artists don't hang paintings. Like artists are not interior designers. Like, artists don't like make the wall text. Like, the curators and the interior designers and people who make spaces like that. Maybe, I mean, this guy probably decorated his own house.
They have to interpret it well for other people to interpret correctly.
There you go. Right. Tastemakers, culture creation.
Often what they do in museums is it'll be a team of curators that are collecting work from a bunch of different museums on loan, or private collectors, stitched together an artist statement, or not an artist statement, but a statement about the show. And it's basically like a giant, like, 5-paragraph essay where they just have a bunch of examples of artwork, and then they make their own statement, and then the exhibition is the piece you're selling tickets to.
Yeah, and I would say this too. It's a good way to think about it is the way you might think about hostile architecture versus architecture that's meant to facilitate people.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Where, like, they create neighborhoods like cul-de-sacs, or like areas where they want families to move in, and the landscape promotes foot walking, and there's trees and there's shade and there's safe sidewalks, versus there are areas where there's like trash and highways and no sidewalks, and the benches have swords coming out of them. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the people who design this place do not want you to be here. And like, and now we're seeing like a pretty, it's a two-sided scale, but like, imagine that in a different sense where, I don't know, there's a reason that you don't feel reverence, like infinite wisdom, and like, I can't even believe I'm witnessing this when you're at the community art center. And it's because it's designed to make you feel welcome. Like, you're supposed to love to be there. Like, that's why they have murals of children fucking playing and hopscotch painted on the ground, and like, it's a nice place. There's benches and stuff, but like, you're not supposed to. And I think that the way people think about museums now, I feel like they're really trying to reinvent that, where they want people to feel welcome, and they want there to be children there, and they want more.
St. Louis fucking museum, dude.
Go to the fucking city museum. I'm telling you.
Oh, I've been to the St. Louis Art Museum, but not the St. Louis City Museum.
Oh, you got to go to the city museum.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, my God.
Did we talk about this last time?
Yeah, it wasn't on the podcast, but we did.
Oh,
we
it was
talked
after?
about it.
10-story tall jungle gym made of garbage.
Oh,
Nice.
Wow. That's pretty gnarly.
It's so good. It's so good. They got
It's a Chuck E. Cheese play place.
It's a Chuck E. Cheese play place made out of fucking iron and
Airplanes.
They got an airplane like suspended like 5 stories in the air that you crawl through these metal tubes to get into, and like.
Oh wow.
That sounds fucked.
Like,
is it an official thing, or is it like a Roadside America thing?
Somewhere between the two.
Okay.
I mean, I think part of it is that St. Louis is kind of the Wild West. Like, the city's just so fucked.
Missouri, baby.
You can just like nobody's checking like what you're doing there.
Right.
Like,
okay.
But I don't know. Like, I mean, you have to sign waivers to go in.
Oh, okay. Oh, like, so there is some like, it's being facilitated in some way.
Yeah, you have to buy tickets. Yeah. It's not just like punk kids.
Just some like giant like death trap where there's like a person stuck in it from like 10 years ago.
High, the whole thing. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's like an old fucking mill building.
And it weaves in and out of the floors.
Yeah.
That sounds fucking sick.
There's a lot of shit in there.
Did you have more you were going to say about museums? Because I have a counterpoint.
Oh, well, I was just going to say that museums, when like as they were conceived in like the early 20th century, late 19th century, they didn't want poor people there. Like, they didn't want people of color there. It was probably just men smoking pipes looking at salon galleries. Like, it was supposed to be hostile. Like, they don't fucking want other people there back in like 1901 when the museum was fucking built. I mean, actually, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there were women. Women's suffrage was probably happening in that time period.
Isabella Stewart Gardner.
Yeah, so
But
she's an important
just like a fucking crazy lady that like just bought a bunch of shit and put it in a house.
and she was rich as fuck. But I guess what I'm saying maybe is more relevant to a class
Theo's
difference.
head just went exorcism, and I don't know who it is, so I'm just like, oh no, what's about to go down?
I'm saying that the museums were originally designed for fucking rich people. They did
Yes.
not want poor people there. They didn't want any fucking city people. They wanted to fucking wear fucking suits and look at fucking Rembrandts and shit. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't want people there. And so that's how it was designed back then. That's how it still is. But all the museums are like, oh no, like, this is, like, or they're trying to change it now. It's like this neoliberalism is, which isn't a bad thing. I hope they change it. Maybe it'll be nice.
I
But
think my point in bringing up museums was not to like tout their magnificence, but just to say that like
I love museums. I think they're magnificent.
Yeah, but no, it was unrelated to the point.
Oh, okay. I don't even remember.
No,
I'm sorry.
It was more just to say like I'm not a visual artist, so I could not tell you if this is the case, but I feel like people who are fans of musicians or people who make YouTube videos or people who make something that is like consumable versus something that you look at, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They think there's a significantly larger amount of access to that person because they make something that they consume as opposed to something that they like look at and move on. Does that make
Yeah, I guess so too. And I feel like there's a kind of proletariat nature to music making where like maybe this is different from genre to genre or culturally, but people don't like to think of the artists that they love as like this demigod and you're like a peon.
All rap and hip hop.
Yeah, and they like like
It's
you're beneath
all, like,
me.
Rolls Royces. And
Yeah,
that's different
money.
though. That's still not like you're beneath me. That's
Well,
just
it was, like-
I have a status.
Well,
like,
imagine
10 years
if
ago, but I feel like it's much more. I mean, like status is still a big part of it, but it's more. No, I'm talking out my ass. Never mind.
Well, I'd say imagine if it's like the Kim Kardashian when she went the viral thing where she's like, nobody wants to fucking work.
Get off
Like
your
these
ass
stupid
and
fucking poor
work.
people won't get jobs and worked overtime. Like it's like if you did that as an artist, like if right, yeah. It's like, but like that's the type of that's what museums are saying to people. Like when people like thinking about museums, they're seeing Kim Kardashian saying, "Shut the fuck up and work."
But do you think
I
that
associate every museum with Kim K, actually.
But do you think that
it's like old money opulence, like as Theo said earlier. Like it's like
I want to know Theo's counterpoint.
Okay, hit the fucking counterpoint.
I need to just ask
You don't agree with
one
me?
question,
I mean, I think
Brian,
it's changed,
because I am
honestly.
starting to disagree
I also
with you.
feel like there's a fight
Yeah.
to be had here about Isabella Stewart Gardner.
Yeah, that's not true.
Your original premise.
I went there 2 days ago and read her bio.
which I
actually,
don't
so.
accept.
Okay,
So
hold on, wait. We need to straighten this out. I'm sorry.
I don't accept your original premise, but I will. Do you think that the reason for your original premise, though, is that because visual art is being seen and then moved on from versus being consumed and taken with you, do you think that's why the critiques are harsher?
Well, I don't think that happens. I don't think
That
it's
was my
like this
point,
back
not
burner
Brian's.
thing that people don't like. It's like some irrelevant thing. Like I feel like people do kind of take it with them. But
That's
I
my
think
premise.
I guess I'm just saying there's an avant-garde nature to the artistry.
Right.
Where it's like you could take a shit on the floor and,
Right.
and you can make conceptual art out of that. That's what I mean as like this like incredibly like no standards critique.
Right.
That's kind of what I meant. Versus
Rat!
oh my god, where is it?
It's
Went into the car.
Oh my god.
It went from you to me.
I didn't like
I
it.
think he was going for food.
Anyway,
My bad,
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, Brian.
You're completely fucking wrong. Sorry.
Yeah,
How the
you're
fuck
wrong.
am I wrong? About what?
So I
About
think,
what part am I wrong?
Well, first of all, in like 1901, women art collectors were definitely a thing. Not as common, but like Isabella Stewart Gardner, she came from a background where her family were art collectors. She married wealthy. Her first son, I think she miscarried or he died as a baby. She was devastated and went to Europe to try and like cure her hysteria.
You're talking to the wrong person because I didn't shit on Isabella Stewart Gardner.
That's not the whole point.
I'm down.
That's not the whole reason you're
I'm
wrong.
down with the Gardner Museum.
But she curated that art collection, basically curated a big salon of Boston artists by using her house as a means to invite artists in. She donated to artists and funded their livelihood while they were making art and was collecting and selling and kind of creating this whole collection as a curator. Yes.
What's salon mean? In terms of,
I
like,
kind of used it
art
wrong just now. To be
It's a
honest.
type of
Okay.
curation, but it's like, imagine this wall.
I meant like a group of like art salon in the French history kind of way.
No, I know. That's meant for a large group to be viewing and seeing because there's 200 artists in the salon hanging. But basically, imagine
But
this wall.
I didn't mean the hanging. I meant the people.
Well, Trevor asked what salon meant. That's all I was elaborating on.
I want to know both.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why you're mad at me.
Two.
I was just
What did you
fucking
mean?
explaining
Okay,
what
so
salon
what
means.
did you mean?
A salon can also refer to an event where it's like a large group of artists that are doing like intellectual sharing, essentially.
Sick. Thank you.
And salon hanging is another thing.
Go ahead, explain it. I'm not gonna. You wanted to explain what salon meant, so go ahead. I fucking won't. I will not interject.
Wait,
I'm witnessing something here.
This is great because normally I'm just listening and then I go crazy because they never get back to the point. Finish your point now that I know what salon is.
The museum point?
Yes.
Well, she's just cool. I wanted to just say that because it's a Boston Art Podcast. But museums, I think what a museum is trying to do and why it's changed over time because they've realized it's a different demographic to appeal to is create an entertainment experience that makes the viewer feel not necessarily welcome or not welcome, but makes them feel intelligent. And I think that a lot of artists, that sucks. That really sucks for recording right now. The reason they want artists to want to be in the museum because it's like this crown jewel of your career, and they want people to go to the museum to pay $30 a ticket so they can experience this and feel really fancy and come there in a suit and a ball gown on date night and like drink wine and act so smart.
I don't think that's so much different than what I was saying.
But I don't think it's necessarily meant to repel anyone intentionally. I think it just does that systemically.
That's exactly what I was saying. That's what I mean. It's just.
That's not what you said.
What the fuck are you guys talking about?
Well, the way I understood it is that you were talking about the architecture of the space and how architecture is designed to create an experience. And like, so what it had me thinking about is like churches. It's a similar thing with churches. Like the point of a church is to make you feel tiny and in awe of the glory of God.
Yeah.
And like it's a similar thing to that, where like the space is like, I believe your exact words are, it's like to make you feel like you're nothing. You compared it to the Lincoln Monument and how it's designed to make you feel like.
I think it's possible that I'm not wrong, but you guys didn't understand me. Like maybe you guys didn't know what the fuck I meant.
I did, and I just kept my mouth shut.
It's not that funny. I mean, I think if you just don't know what I meant.
No. The thing
meant.
is, I knew what you meant, and that's why I just kept my mouth shut because I was like, okay. I was like, there's like a tiny little left turn at the end, but those were mostly the same point. So I was like,
all around. I don't know.
Well, what did you mean then?
Do you want to finish what you were saying? I feel like we cut you off.
No, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sorry, everybody. Public apology. Not trying to yell at
Brian
everybody.
Huntress admitted that they liked hopscotch live on the podcast. And
I was
now they're
just saying
canceled.
that the museums of yesteryear and way before even our grandparents' lifetimes didn't want the fucking city people to be there. They wanted the smart, rich, intellectual people to be there. And now it's different. They want the city people to be there.
Well, I feel like maybe I got confused from how it related to the original point, because I thought you were saying in terms of like alienating artists as well.
I wasn't talking about artists at all.
Okay.
Not alienating artists.
Enough someday,
You know?
that I can hoard expensive shit,
Yeah.
For no reason.
and,
too.
and my house will become a museum.
Wait, I figured it out. I think the reason you took it that way is because you're automatically looking at it through the lens of an artist just by nature of you literally being you. like, and I'm not even saying that as like a call out post. I'm saying that like, I think that may be where it got tripped up because I would never be thinking through that lens.
I might have assumed that you had meant that. Because I
Interesting.
That's a guess.
When
I
you
don't know.
assume, you make an ass.
Oh, you know what
Out
they
of
say
yourself.
about assuming? It gives you
I don't know. I
pancakes for
assumed
feet.
it because it's what you said.
Yeah,
but that's fine.
I also,
What did I say?
I also assumed that.
Do we want to
same
play the
thing.
tape back? Can
No, we can't play the
Can we
tape
do
back because then the
podcast?
recording will stop.
Can we do podcast in podcast?
Is it a wig?
You gotta edit that in.
know.
You gotta edit in like 5 minutes of you explaining how museums are designed to make you feel like a piece of shit.
Dude, museums were designed in
The world's tiniest
1900. They weren't designed in 2018. In that time, they did design them that way. This was the point a long time ago. White pillars, marble, 200-foot tall buildings.
Say Marvel again.
Those aren't designed to make you feel welcome. Do you think the White House and the fucking Washington Monument's supposed to make you want to come hang out? It's a fucking display of power.
So I don't think that's untrue, but
Have you seen what the MFA looks like?
Yeah, but I don't think it's intended necessarily to be a display of power. I think it was that as a side effect of the fact that the people that work at the museum, or the donors of the museum, I should say, and the people that are buying the art and selling the art are rich, powerful people. But I think the intention of that in the way it functions for the institution is creating a place that people want to be, that has more opulence in their daily life.
So the intention didn't...
rather than an intention.
I think
They didn't mean it that way?
Inspiration, not invitation.
I think the function of a museum is nothing to do with art and a lot to do with entertainment and selling tickets. It might as well be a really fancy opera house or a movie theater or anything
So
like that.
it feels like an outing kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I think the day-to-day function of a museum is about getting people in and out of the door versus the art world and the art market is a separate thing, and the overlap is that the people on the upper end are the same people. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I agree that it's a business and they want to sell tickets. It might as well be the Children's Museum when you look at it like that.
Yeah.
That's true.
I got bit by a goose at the reflecting pool because my cousin, who I was in charge of watching, got too close because she was like, ducky, ducky. And then I had to run down because she got close to a goose. And you know how geese do that like demonic thing where they like rear up and they're like,
oh, yeah.
And like all of a sudden they have teeth and you're like, oh, this bird has teeth. And I put my arm out like that and it bit me across the forearm. Not like hard. Like luckily I was like out of range enough for it that I just kind of was like, but like.
They had some really aggressive geese at rehab. The trick, if you want a geese to fuck off, is you gotta for the listeners, you have to flap your arms and get big over the goose and go like this, and like they'll fuck off.
That works.
If you do that, oh yeah,
To intimidate the goose.
That's called de-escalation, by the way.
you gotta do this.
Years ago, when I was younger,
over there.
I was at a pond in my hometown, and this guy I used to hang out with, the goose, one of the geese started
Got
fucking, yeah, like it started doing that thing where it comes up to you and is intimidating you. And this is a horrible story, and I shouldn't laugh at it, but my friend wrapped a shirt around his hand into a big pillow, and literally he was like drunk, and he punched the goose in the face.
Goose abuse?
Yeah, and it was literally so fucking crazy.
Dude, that goose got juiced.
Yeah, it was so fucked up. We were on drugs.
I had to get out of my car the other day. I was driving through JP, and there were these 3 turkeys in the road. It was one of those narrow streets, and I stopped the car, and they looked at me, and I honked, and they all went, and then just stood there, and I had to fucking get out of the car and go and yell at them and flap my arms to make them go away.
They'll huddle around cars because they're warm. The ones at the farm do it to mine all the time, and I have to literally go out and be like, go away, geese. And then if they try to get aggressive, then I'm like,
Well, these were turkeys.
Yeah,
These were
turkeys.
wild-
oh yeah, no, that's what I meant. I meant turkeys.
Bizarre.
They're turkeys.
So
Yeah, yeah.
scary. The other day I was running on one of the paths along the river, and there's like a little bend where there's a tree that goes under, and I ducked under the tree, and there were just 8 geese chilling on the little bike path, and they saw me and they all went and I turned and I ran the other direction. I'm not gonna fight 8 geese.
Miguel had a pet wild turkey for a while that would just sit in the tree in his front yard, and I would like pull up and this thing would be like in the branch over my car and he'd be like freaked out, and we'd be talking or whatever, and he was like, oh yeah man, I named it Trevor. And I was like, why the fuck? He's like, well, it's alliteration, and also I'm always happy to see the turkey, I'm always happy to see you, man. And I was like,
I love the impression.
That's the one impression I can do. It's Matt.
That is how he talks.
Oh yeah. Shit.
How's Matt doing? I haven't talked to him in a long time.
fine.
Off the map.
He's fine and off the map.
Yeah.
It's
So,
hell
Theo,
yeah.
I got a question about Isabella Stewart Gardner. What do you
Going
think
back to
about
museums.
her rule about how nothing could be changed or everything had to go?
I think that is kind of interesting. I don't really know a lot about why she decided to do that, but I guess probably her fear, or what I would assume if it was me, is that people would like ruin the institution because she knew it was going to be a regular museum when she died.
Yeah.
So I kind of think that the picture frames are stupid, honestly. But I mean, I know they make a lot of their money because of the heist at this point.
I think the fact that it's unchanged too is like a big part of the allure.
So I guess
Yeah.
That's
that's
a cool
what
part of the
I
museum.
find so disgusting about it, that it's not like the whole thing is an art piece basically, and for me, like the meaning of that art piece is basically I'm rich, so I get to decide what's important, and like it gets to the core of like what I hate about the art world and how it's just like a playground for rich people and also a way for them to demonstrate to the world how much more intelligent and sophisticated they are than everyone else.
Or hide money a lot of the time too.
Why not both?
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. I've been in there. It's cool. I used to hang out with a friend. You know, we'd park our car
Punch a goose.
like right next to there, like
You know the baby heads.
3 to 5 nights a week for like months. Like, right, and like I didn't even realize that was where it was. There was a huge snow emergency going on at the time. We used to hang out late at night.
Always out in blizzards, my guy.
I guess so. And, but yeah, so I wonder if the security has like a file on me there. 'Cause I was just always fucking out there.
I've heard through the grapevine that security at the Isabella is not that good.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, a long time ago.
Well, I have those paintings, by the way.
They're mine, actually.
Yeah. Wow.
Don't tell anyone.
Facts, bro. You know what I've always thought about the Gardner Museum that's weird is that, like, I know that it's left how she wanted it and all that, but like where the fuck did she like I don't know, like brush her teeth or like do her makeup or like get dressed and shit? Like
In the upstairs quarters at her artist residency now, I think.
oh, okay. So the part where she actually like lived is probably not like included in the museum.
I don't know for sure.
You look
but
at it
I'm
and
pretty
it's like a gymnasium-sized room with a piano in it, and it's like, how the fuck did somebody live in here?
It is pretty gnarly when you're walking.
Like, what the fuck?
But there are living quarters there because they have artists come in and do residencies where they're just paid to make art for like 3 or 4 months.
I'm gonna go pee on that wall. I'm taking
Same
a pee break
place that
from
you
the
did a second ago?
podcast. Yeah, it's still recording.
You're gonna pee in the same
I think
place?
you're putting your finger over the mic part.
Are you going to turn
Here,
over
you're
the
the DJ.
podcast?
Yeah, I'm relinquishing. I'm quitting.
Right.
You're gonna probably all gonna talk shit about me.
I also
Man,
I
fuck
wasn't
that.
laughing.
Fuck
Oh,
that
no, it's okay.
person.
I'm sorry.
No, you said something literally verbatim that my boss said to me a couple of hours ago.
Oh, really?
And it
I'm
caught
sorry.
me off guard.
I probably just made you. Yeah, my bad.
What was it?
It was just like, well, my boss said to me earlier today.
wrong. You interpreted it wrong.
And I laughed at them, but I didn't laugh like at what they were saying. It
was
just
just striking.
really startled me.
Theo, I have a
man.
weird question.
Okay.
How is an open mic for you as someone that like doesn't directly perform and partake? Like, is it just like heinous, like horrible? You're just sitting there. Like, granted,
No.
today's was like particularly good. Like for an open mic, that was like the most stacked open mic
Yeah.
I've ever played. Usually, it's like
Nobody
one
bombed.
good part.
That was
and,
There's
like,
usually,
ridiculous.
yeah.
That was absurd.
yeah.
I feel like going to an open mic is kind of like going to like a creative Omegle, where it's like it might be great, it might be horrible, you don't know, and you're just in it. I don't know. I was gonna read poetry, then I got scared, so I didn't. And then when Brian was like, "Is anybody else gonna come up?" and I looked around, every single person had already gone, and I was like, "No."
Did I psych you out when I was like, "Oh, go play something"?
Oh no, I just I don't know.
Perform.
I never do. That's the other thing. So it's like when I do, it feels like a way bigger deal because I never
You
do.
were painting a
So-
little, so you still like did something creative.
Yeah. It's like there's not a live audience though. Like if you do a painting and it's in a show or something, you can just kind of stand by it and be
Oh my
like-
god, you just reminded me. What if people did Twitch streams of painting? Like not necessarily Bob Ross style, but like
Could probably do that.
I make
Yeah.
TikToks of me drawing.
Right, but right, and that's like
Well, the
sick.
thing with that kind of stuff is they usually speed it up because it's really boring to watch somebody paint something.
But maybe
in real
that's
time.
how you change that zeitgeist, because we were talking about like, oh, you can stream music pretty much whenever you want. To get people interested, people need to start doing it. Like you can't get people interested without the precedent being there that someone's doing it to be interested.
So here's one
I think
one
stream
cool
video
thing.
games.
Here's one cool thing.
true. The same thing.
So while I was in North Dakota, I went to a casino to see Taboo from the Black Eyed Peas came and performed at the casino on the reservation.
Dude, he's on Cameo now.
He's the
shit.
fucking man. No, that
Features,
guy's
album 3.
awesome. Well, he was, and I mean, he did it. It was a free show, and he did it to like just like boost morale for the
cool.
people there. And holy fucking shit, that guy put on a show. Like he was the most energetic performer I've ever seen. And he had for his set, there were a couple opening acts, and then for his set he had like a whole group of traditional dancers with these crazy costumes, colors and feathers and shit, and and the cipher with all these underground indigenous hip hop artists in the middle of it. And he had a live painter, and that's why I'm bringing the story up. He had a guy that painted this like cool painting of like a guy in a gas mask, but that was like a there was like a stylized thing there. It was like part of this hip hop thing. Like he was doing it with spray paint and stuff, and like it was fast and like his painting itself was a performance. But that's, I think, I've probably seen that type of visual art integrated with
Kiss had an opener
before,
on their
like,
last tour that did the same thing.
Yeah, that's a big.
That's kind of cool.
I know about it because Kiss is a meme, not because I'm like, yeah, Kiss.
Hey, you can be fine. You like Kiss? That's fine. I'm not going to judge you.
Like what you like.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, performance painting in that sense is like almost like a Las Vegas kind of show, where it's like a guy like almost like the Blue Man Group.
Raves.
That's so.
I probably saw you.
Really?
But
That
like,
was my pre-pandemic activity.
it could
So I
be
used to look like a skeleton.
like it could be like a Hassan Piker like crazy person 8 hours a day stream, right? Not like because of Hassan, but you know how he like just streams like for most of a day.
Yeah.
If you're doing like an oil painting, that's like about how long it would take you to do like for however long, however big it is, right? Because it takes a really long time.
Or even
If you're just doing that and just like cycling through whatever painting you're working on that day, and like they get to watch
But
the
you
progress.
also talk about Ukraine and how like they deserve to get invaded by
All right,
Russia
listen.
the whole time.
Yeah, well, I think the reason that doesn't.
It was just the first Twitch stream I could think of that was
fine.
long form.
It's fine. He's the most popular politics streamer of all time.
I think
not, like it makes sense that you would.
the reason
use a reference.
that really doesn't exist in art, I feel like, is because there is like literally, like, this is going to sound crazy, but it's because art is almost like at the underground level almost exclusively a leftist space. And the reason I say that is because most people who are online that are like, yo, what the fuck is good, like, and like rapidly producing content and like making money and promoting themselves and distributing things are not in leftist spaces.
So if you knew who Hassan Piker was, you wouldn't have said that.
I know exactly who Hassan Piker is.
Are you
When
claiming that he is a fake leftist?
Dude, what the fuck? I'm sorry, I'm about to shut this fucking thing. No! That's not what I fucking mean. Never mind, dude.
I want to know.
No, what I'm saying... Dude, I'm saying, like, Hassan Piker literally, like, I heard him once talk on a thing talking about how he, like, is, like, struggling to find a merch company to print his stuff because you can't, like, it's impossible to get hoodies affordably made in America, not by sweatshops, so he can't do his merch drop yet. It's like the guy isn't, like...
$1 million, too, that's why, because it's, like, it costs so much because he's trying to do everything.
And without that even being the point, I'm saying that, like, there aren't people that are, like... I don't know, never mind. I my point's already made. That's it.
You're so mad.
Sorry. I don't know. It's kind of, not trying to ruin the session, but yeah.
I think another thing
My
too
bad, guys.
about live streaming painting that's kind of tough is that doing the mapping of the painting is really boring to watch. So you probably would lose a lot of people in the beginning.
But
like,
they'll
it only
come
gets
for the
interesting
later
at the
ones.
end.
Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, it's like the whole process beginning to end. And then once you build the following off of it, theoretically, people will be way more invested in the beginning because they know where it ends up.
Well, and the
Yeah.
personality is a big part of it, and the chatting. Like, I mean, Destiny will play fucking League of Legends for 16 hours straight, and people watch it because periodically he like makes fun of his son.
But is there
Like-
is there like a concentration aspect that like painting would require so much more
That's probably true too.
brain space than just like playing Minecraft?
You don't have to talk the whole time, though. That's the beauty of it, is you can just talk whenever you're, like, thinking something through, and then you can just talk out loud, pretend that there's no camera there, essentially.
You can
Which,
also-
admittedly, is a very vulnerable spot that's being, like, live cast, so maybe you'd want to pick and choose which pieces you do. But, like, I feel like in a 2022, like, space, that's a really good way to make art viable in a way that music is. Like, I feel like that's, like, your closest competition in terms of just fighting against a streaming service. Because you don't have art Spotify.
And then you can go on panels and debate about.
I'm gonna
All kinds
literally
of things.
commit. I hate everyone. I said one Twitch name, and now I need to go lay in traffic.
I'm going with you on this. Like, I think this could actually work. I don't do Twitch. I find it really boring to actually watch the shit in real time. But I watch VODs sometimes. I watch the edited stuff that these guys put on YouTube, and like, I think there's something to it because it's a combination of different forms, right? Like, like. So just as a little, I don't need to go down that road. Anyway, someone created this idea that you could play video games all day and talk about politics, and maybe somebody else recently took credit for it. But it doesn't matter who came up with the idea. The point is that the content is now greater than either the video games or the politics shit, and really ultimately comes down to the parasocial element. Which, if that's what you're trying to create, that might be an avenue that you can explore that could be really worthwhile, because either of these things is really boring on their own, but put together it's somehow like really infectiously addictive.
It's only boring if you're not interested in it, though, because like someone who's no one's listening to music parasocially necessarily. Okay.
My Instagram inbox would actually have a large disagreement with you, my friend.
I don't put on like a Kendrick album and I'm like, oh my god, I want to see what Kendrick's up to, and be like, I want to be like friends with Kendrick. But I'm like, this is a sick piece of art that I'm enjoying.
I mean, did we have this conversation earlier about how Pat the Bunny had people like literally asking him
right, but that doesn't necessarily. Okay, I guess what I'm saying is the execution doesn't need to be striving for that. Like, you can be streaming completely under the holistic pretense that you're, like, trying to be enthusiastic about art and build enthusiasm about art. You can, like, try as much as you can to avoid any parasocial if, like, that's your intention. If you want to do the parasocial thing, that's fine. But I'm saying it doesn't have to be inherently just because it's on the platform.
See, maybe my take on this is a little different because I find the parasocial stuff hilarious, and, like, I don't think... Maybe it's wildly unethical, but, like, I don't know. I think if you want to do that, fucking go for it. It sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying that wasn't, like, what my point was, I guess.
I think you inherently...
I fucked you up because I said the song.
Sure, I think inherently you run the risk, though, if you're live streaming 8 hours a day and people are watching that, it stops being about the thing that you're making and about the personality that you're sharing with people. Like maybe not immediately, but eventually in the long run, people are tuning in at that point to like hear you speak and to see what you're doing rather than to see painting happen.
And your interactions with your scare quotes friends. Because these streamers exist in communities, and that's what I was getting at with the panel debates thing. I was not trying to shit on you with the song thing. I'm being serious. Like, so I think there is a space on the internet for somebody who paints oil paintings and talks about politics all day, because this politics space exists. Or that's the one that I'm most specifically familiar with. There might be other types of communities, and that's particularly. Convenient for developing these networks, because they do these panel debates where a bunch of different streamers will get together and argue about some subject.
And one of them could be painting.
One of them could be painting, yeah.
Do you think Bob Ross would have found
Crazy.
TikTok Live?
No.
He probably would have done Twitch.
That's true.
Isn't that like...
Which was kind of... I think that was the heart of it.
Twitch?
Yeah, I guess so.
A television show where you're painting by numbers and helping people paint and shit? Isn't that like the archaic version of live streaming your oil painting?
I guess that's what I'm thinking is like, I feel like my counter argument for that is that I don't know that people would have the attention span, but maybe I just don't like watching live streams.
But
I think that might be it.
then you do it like a lot of the Twitch people do, where they cut their 8-hour live stream into the 30-minute highlights.
Yeah.
And then...
Or 2-hour highlights.
Or 2-hour highlights, depending on who it is.
Yeah.
Which
And that's like
I'm
essentially
hopelessly addicted to and watch multiple
what you do on
ones every day.
TikTok. Is you film yourself doing a whole drawing, except you make it consumable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just...
So you should stream.
You could
No.
do both. You could
No.
stream yourself doing the drawing, and then later...
I mean, like, I've like the concept of just recording the creation of the art and distributing it in a million different ways. Like, I don't know, man. Theoretically, I could post this fucking recording on YouTube with a video of me painting for 2 hours silently while this plays in the background.
Why not?
Like what? I don't know. Like I honestly like the reason because it fucking would suck and it would be not fucking good. Like it's like another thing too is that the painting process isn't really a consumable thing. Like when I paint something, like when I'm painting, it's like a 2 weeks of me painting for an hour or two.
Yeah.
Stop, go do some other shit, eat food, like take a piss. Like go out, go to dunks, come back. Like it isn't really like something that I don't know.
That's what people live stream.
Right. And
What I've gleaned from this is that I am crazy. Because I would legitimately watch the thing that I'm pitching.
But there are people that do it. There are people on I get TikTok lives about that a lot because I follow a lot of artists on TikTok. But I think from a content creator standpoint, I would go insane if I was doing that because it takes so much mental energy to paint for longer than 3 hours at a time.
You also get insane amounts of hatred.
Yeah,
It's like an industry that's designed to make people fucking lose their minds.
Yeah.
Also, content creation just isn't that fucking easy either. Like you have to if you're gonna I don't know, talking about making TikToks and shit like we were earlier. The only way it works is if you make 100 drafts,
And that's the thing
and then
about
post all
time-lapse.
of them.
The thing about a time lapse too is what you do. You can chop it up. You can put a different audio on it. You can put it on a bunch of different platforms. Versus a live stream, you would need to repurpose that content and do more editing to reuse it in a different format.
2 hours,
Damn.
120 minutes.
The feature length.
We want to pinch this one off.
11 minutes
The
of
steaming
actual
pile of
content.
shit that it is.
I think
Fuck this episode.
Me and Brian both independently took an L one after the other, and now we're both just okay.
I also need water desperately. I searched my car for car waters and there was none.
Ale.
I think I have
Oh,
a
fuck
case of
that.
water.
Your car's right here, isn't it?
I got a whole case of ginger ale.
Oh no, I would. That sounds
think I have a
putrid to
case
me.
of
I really
water.
appreciate it. Cannot drink ginger ale.
Pulling no punches.
Why is that funny? Why is it funny to say that ginger ale is putrid? Am I being a piece of shit?
No, putrid's a funny word.
Oh,
No, this is perfect. You got to be real.
thank you so much.
The fans demand realness.
No, I'm just gonna suffer until I get in the car.
For the fans, Brian.
Do it for the fans. I'm gonna die for the fans.
Brian, we're all your friends and we all like you.
Yeah.
I need to
Appreciate
make that
it, guys.
explicitly clear right now.
Nah, dude, I'm pro-colonialism, hostile architecture, museum death. I want the museums to be covered in guns and drones that fucking just shoot people and kill them while they're walking in.
I can't believe I haven't seen you in 2 years, and this is the direction the conversation has gone.
I'm fucking I'm just sorry, guys. It's cat's out of the bag. I'm a fucking. I want to open a museum that you can just go and die in.
No, you don't have to worry about being a left-leaning art.
That's right.
England.
I'm actually
Museum.
I'm actually into. I'm gonna start a grave robbing Twitch stream.
Brian Hunter's neocon.
All right.
Just I'm going to the Middle East. I'm finding some fucking pyramids and shit that are not excavated yet, and I'm going in with a fucking shovel and a gun.
Alone.
And I'm starting a museum.
All right, chat. I'm prying open the tomb.
Oh my God! Can I tell? I can't tell this story publicly. I can't.
Is it
This has
real
been the
crime
Boston
story?
Art Podcast.
Boston grave robbing, Boston tomb raiding podcast, literal tomb. Wait, is that what that fucking?
Tomb Raider?
Yeah, is she? Does she rob tombs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Well, she
I didn't even
rates
know
them.
that.
Well, she rates them. Yeah.
I don't know shit about. When I just said Tomb Raider, I thought about Temple Run, not Tomb Raider.
They're not that dissimilar, to be honest.
My hand is frozen.
Yeah, end the podcast.
No,
Indeed.
we're staying here.
We can
I'm not
talk,
cutting anything.
We can talk without making content.
No.
Do you notice?
I need
I meant
this.
to ask about this last time.
Oh yeah.
I know we talked about it once the podcast.
Let's fucking
was
go.
over, but we didn't talk about it on the podcast.
What is it?
Do you notice a psychological change when you're podcasting, and does that psychological state persist?
Yes, that's why
After,
we sometimes
yeah.
pause in the middle of recording to like reground.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So now here's the question for you two, because you do this regularly.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Do you ever catch yourself slipping into this mode?
Did you ever catch yourself
While not even recording at all?
Never.
Like while not even creating
you'll
anything?
just be like
Yeah.
talking to somebody, and you'll be like enunciating everything really loudly,
yeah.
and like
Sure.
saying everything with the understanding that it's going to be listened to by somebody else at some point.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I do. We do that when we're alone.
Yeah, usually the way it goes is we'll start doing it, we'll start talking about something, and like podcast voicing it, and then one of us will be like, shut the fuck up, we have to record this, shut up, save it for later.
Shut up, stop talking.
For real though, you want an actual tip?
Yeah.
On how to make these more engaging? Don't cut up anything, but go through, get some juicy bits, take clips from them, and run them at the beginning.
Yeah, say
Run,
that.
like,
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a
Have
little
the
hook.
worst
like,
thing.
that's not-
That's not a bad idea.
Coming up on the Boston Art Podcast.
That would actually be
Many,
really
many,
neat.
many podcasts do that. It's a thing.
Nice.
The whole premise at the beginning when we started this, though, like, was I thought that if it was too much work digitally, then I wouldn't do it. So the only way to force myself to do it was to just literally not edit it at all.
See, that was my theory behind the way
For
I
free
started my
would edit
band.
audio for you if you asked me to. I'm not trying to impose that on you, but if you ever were like, hey, sure, would you mind like just touching this up a little bit?
Dude,
I
one
would do that
time
in a heartbeat.
we recorded with Joel over Zoom, and what he sent us back was like it sounded like we were there with him talking into his mics.
He's crazy.
And I was like, how did you do that? Like, what the fuck? I thought, like, anyway, never mind. But yeah, we should probably stop, huh?
No.
I kind of like talking about the podcast like meta with other people, because usually we talk about the podcast meta ourselves, and we're just like, fuck, what if everyone hates us, what if we suck, and we're like recording it,
Yeah.
but it's like other people who listen to it.
Well, you guys, whatever the last one, you on the last one were like, who do you think
that was
is
a
liked more?
meta
And then you're like, who do you think they hate out of the two of us? I was like, what?
Wait, did we
Me?
say that?
You literally both were like, we should put a poll up and see who likes who better.
Vote now.
And I was like, I don't fucking
I think
that.
you would probably win the popularity contest.
I don't know
Wow,
about
this is
that.
exactly what you said on the last
Is it
episode.
really?
It's like I'm there.
I think the fact that you guys don't agree on everything is what makes it really engaging.
That we don't?
Yeah.
Oh,
Basically
yeah.
fight every episode.
Well, it's not even like the other thing that I've noticed in general is you guys like will get into like fights that aren't fights, but you guys will be like, I can't believe that we were so mean to each
Marker.
other, and it's great because it means you guys are like very like earnest and kind, but it's like if that you guys are okay, like you just like disagreed about your takes.
Do your listeners want to hear you discuss the meta of your podcast? Is that
You
like
have-
I don't
know.
know.
Fuck what they
I have no
want.
idea.
They're gonna listen to it.
We
They're
don't
gonna like it.
We don't know.
And
You have no fucking idea.
I listen to it and I do. It's every other
Thanks.
episode. It's
Appreciate
super
it.
interesting.
just talked about podcasting. Like you didn't
We do
made our own
sometimes. We actually
podcast.
We actually.
podcast.
What do you think about Mark Maron?
Mark, you know, I actually just haven't listened to him really. I know who he is, but I don't really know about him.
You did Obama?
I know he did Obama. That's why I know about him, because he interviewed Obama.
You did Obama.
Did you ask him any hard questions?
We had to shut it down with the meta episodes. We still do them, but we got on a roll. We're only making meta episodes.
Yeah, we
for like
realized it was
a
just
couple in a
anxiety.
row.
And then did you have a meta episode about how you had to stop making?
Literally,
Yes.
I don't know.
We had a meeting.
Is that actually what's happening right now?
No, that was literally there. We had one literally called Boston Meta Podcast.
That was like 4 months ago.
Oh yeah, shit.
We had a meeting at
That's
a
fucked up.
Starbucks. We were like, we gotta fucking stop.
Because we actually made a really interesting list where we wrote down every topic.
Got a list. Here's the order of the list.
I forget what the fuck that was. We have to re-examine
We
that.
went over every episode we've done, tried to figure out a general genre of what we were talking about, and then made like a mind map of like where we were leaning. Like if it was more meta, if it was more about like visual art, if it was more about music, if we were just like saying stupid shit at McDonald's. And we tried to get like a board of like where our podcast actually in reality was landing, and we were like, we're having anxiety attacks on the podcast too much. Like, we gotta chill out. Which might, honestly, if you really follow that logic through, considering we had no, like, third element there in that decision-making, have been an anxiety attack in the process of evaluating.
Damn.
I think it was, and I think the other thing was you guys just happened to be in a dry spell of interviews.
Yeah.
So it felt less broken up as opposed to, because I think you guys talk about it the same amount. It's just you have enough, like,
We have filler.
it's not even filler.
You're like our
it's just,
podcast
like,
therapist.
Yeah, well,
Like,
I feel
help
like I
us
have
out.
to be because
We're, like,
in
fucking
addition to being a
lost.
fan, like I know you guys personally and like relatively intimately and care about you both a lot.
Right.
So I'm like, it's okay. Like it's all good.
Thanks.
A, but B, you guys have been doing a ton of interviews because you had a bunch and then there was a lull and then you have a bunch again.
Yeah.
So you guys aren't actually talking any differently when you're on your own. It just probably feels like it because there's more of a break and less diversity in the content,
Yeah.
which is just how podcasts go. Like you get ebbs and flows of just like there's a lot of stories or a lot of news or a lot of topics to cover, and then it's like, okay, we're starting here, but it's like wandering out into our personal lives or whatever just because we've like fully explored that topic and we still have to make the episode, which is totally
Yeah.
fine. Literally totally okay. Nothing wrong with it.
Thanks.
I'm still gonna be anxious about it, but I appreciate that.
Luckily, we have a
appreciate
group
it.
chat, and I can be like, y'all.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I just want to take a moment here to point out to the listener how uncomfortable Brian looks.
Because I'm holding my phone out of my sleeve
You're so
Like they-
cool.
with my hand freezing
we-
inside.
everyone
It's
at
so
least wants to
fucking
send it
cold.
ended.
It looks so miserable.
Brian, what are we at? 2 hours, 15 minutes.
Yeah, just about. Nah, 2 hours, 9 minutes. Very close.
Week.
Very close though.
That's a short episode. That's nothing.
The longest one still standing
Raya.
was with, Raya Watson.
Of course I know Raya Watson.
Raya and her roommate, some guy named Craig. And it was
How long was it?
it was
like
like
fucking
it was like
4
3.5 hours or something. 3 hours and 40 minutes.
It's gonna be tough to beat, but we're gonna do it.
Well, it was only
keep
like
going.
it was only actually 3 hours, but you had to split the two,
Right.
and then put them on
Yeah.
the tail end of each other.
There was a bit of a yeah.
What?
You know, it'd be a fun.
Part of it
sequence,
wasn't consecutive.
What if we
It's
just like
complicated.
started an interview and just didn't end it and saw how long somebody would stay?
Oh,
do it
like
right
we
now.
we
We
did
could
like
do
an
it in this moment.
endurance
I feel
thing.
Like we're in that.
We're in it.
I'm not going anywhere.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, I feel like you
in
would.
particular could probably go for a long fucking
How many
time.
cigarettes do I have left?
Right.
Yo, what if we live stream
afraid you
podcast
need to
episodes?
remember.
That wouldn't be. I've actually thought about the possibility of like just going on like Instagram or TikTok live while recording.
You can live stream on SoundCloud now, can't you?
Really? We're actually not. This podcast isn't on SoundCloud at all. I don't
Well, you
think.
could record it there and then just rip it. Is kind of more what I was thinking.
Oh,
I don't
that's
know
an
if that's
interesting idea.
if that is a feature, but I think I heard that. And the nice thing about that is you don't need to worry about TOS with Twitch or YouTube if you like accidentally say, or you have like someone crazy on that like you have to end up censoring at some point, or like you end up not liking the episode and have to drop it.
Yeah.
We haven't had that many instances of that, which is kind of nice.
I love that I live a half a mile away from here, but we're standing in this parking lot.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not allowed in Gavin's house.
It's true.
I just pee really bad.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
That is the silver bullet of a podcast episode.
Me having to pee.
Well,
I'm
usually
not
somebody
on the
having
side
to
of
pee.
the
Yeah, that's true.
In most
I
circumstances.
mean, you could pee in my van, but that'd be kind of fucked up with you.
In the van?
Yeah.
That
why,
would be.
why would I do it in the van?
Maybe you're mean. I don't
Why
know.
would I get in?
Maybe you're just like, I've had
You're a
enough.
totally
of this kid.
fucked up person.
I pissed in my closet once.
Yeah?
When I was in college.
Yeah.
Okay.
Water closet.
I didn't.
Say more.
Hey.
I don't think it really happened, but I'm pretty sure it happened. So I woke up. It was the morning. It was my 18th birthday. I went to a frat house and I drank tequila, and then I blacked out, and then I got up in the morning, and I woke up to a call from my dad, and he was like, "Are you okay? Your roommate posted on Facebook that you pissed in your closet," and I was like, "That's a lie." But then I had a vague recollection. Maybe,
Oh no.
maybe I might have done it, and also my belt was undone.
Oh no.
So that's the evidence, but it didn't smell like piss in my closet. And my roommate tendency to
thinking
exaggerate
critically.
things sometimes.
Oh,
Maybe you peed in
gotcha.
the roommate's closet.
I mean, I
Maybe peed in the bathroom.
Probably
Your
peed in
roommate's
somebody's
just
closet.
clean.
When I first stopped drinking and was in programs and stuff, I had a plague of sleepwalking. And I would sleepwalk out of my bed, out of rooms, through hallways, and with the imminent goal of peeing on things. I was in a program, I was literally in the Castle program, and a staff person woke me up saying, all I remember is she just said, "You know you're urinating right now." And I was like, shut the fuck up. Like, I remember being like, what? Like, you fucking asshole. And then I was literally just peeing on the wall in the room that I was sleeping in. It was fucking nuts, dude. That's not a... Not a thing anymore, thank God. Also, random news that I wasn't going to tell anybody, but I will now since we're at hour 2, minute 13. I'll have 10 years of sobriety tomorrow.
Oh, holy shit.
Tomorrow.
Holy shit.
I don't like telling. The longer it goes on, the less I like to tell people. As I stopped it all came to a head when I was 16. And at the time, I used to say things like, you can't be an alcoholic or a drug addict when you're 16. That's not real. Only adult men are drug
Well, it's
addicts.
been long enough now. You could probably drink and be fine.
Right, yeah, there you go. Let's do it. But like,
Let's do it.
but like, so the more time that passes, the more I prepare myself for people to be like, dude, that's not even real. You're an idiot. Why are you even keeping track of this? But I'm just like, you know what, man? I almost like killed myself like 5 times. Had a bunch of friends die. Seen people's like bodies mangled and, you know, because of the chaos.
I have a call-out post for you.
And you know what?
specifically.
Here I am. It's 2022. I'm 26.
You always don't give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Like, you're always just like, everyone thinks...
Theo snapped and pointed.
Yeah, everyone thinks I'm stupid, da-da-da-da, all the while being one of the, like, most well-spoken and, like, well-intentioned person I've ever met. And so,
I'm a murderer.
10 years of sobriety is, like, a huge milestone, regardless if you want to acknowledge it or not.
Can
but,
you
like,
imagine what
no
kind
one...
of dickhead would actually be like, that's stupid, pussy.
I meet those
10
people
years,
often.
Coward.
Right, but that's
Met many people who say that.
But Brian, they're the problem,
cutting
not
all this.
you. That's fine. That's fine. I'm telling you this. I don't care about the content. What you need to understand is that is a problem with that person, not a problem with you.
Nah, that's true.
And you automatically default to
Yeah.
oh no, I'm silly, and I'm like, Brian, you're not silly.
No, I really appreciate it. It's definitely a weird thing because it's like the dilemma, especially with like being invalidated about that stuff, specifically came from the whiplash of being a young person doing drugs and shit, and everybody being like, "You're a drug addict. You're mentally ill. You're a drug addict." To then stopping and having people be like, "You're not a drug addict." Like, actually, that was all stupid. You're just like a DCF kid or something. And I'm like, maybe that's true. I don't know.
Either way,
anyway,
it's
sorry about
very
that.
admirable.
Sorry
and
about
it's
my Tiny
really
Tim
cool. No,
monologue.
it's not. Stop. It's totally something to be proud of, and you should own it.
Thanks.
You
Appreciate
literally
it.
had a gallery showing, like a sick ass gallery showing.
It was sick.
And I'm not
Good
getting to the thing
times.
where I'm like, oh, you're the best artist in the world, because I know that drives you nuts. But you had like a legit gallery showing.
Appreciate it.
And you're 10 years sober. Those are 2 huge, legitimate things. You are allowed to be proud of that.
Thank you. Sincerely.
The food looks great.
What the fuck?
This food's
Wow, this
nice.
looks good.
I think I'm just.
Thank you. Thank
I
you
think
so
I'm like I'm a boomer, like old guy trapped inside of myself.
See, the thing is, I can take it and just like keep barreling down your throat and just be like, I don't fucking care. Like, it's okay, Ryan.
Thank
Let
you.
me love you. Let
you.
me put love unto you. Thanks. Peace be with you.
Thank you. High five.
Anyways, that was the Boston Art Podcast.
Should I end it? Is that it?
Question.
One more question. Hit me.
Just fucking end it.
You actually have a
Pins
question?
in like 5
Oh, okay.
topics to discuss after recording also.
Oh, we did. Let's the bookmarks.
I have
okay.
something absolutely to say after.
Now.
All right, I'll shut it off.
Fuck you.
Boston
Fuck
Art
you.
Podcast. Thank you, John, for coming on. Thank you, Trevor and Chris, as always.
Right.
Another
Even
good
when I'm not
podcast,
here,
Theo.
Don't
So
thank you guys actually. But
It's pretty crazy how I haven't seen you in so long, and the first conversation I had with you is like now etched in stone.
That's true. Yeah, it's good to see you again after a whole pandemic.
So much, Brian.
All right, I'll shut it off now. All right. I didn't shut it off. I can't pull the